anthem has been played. Are we set? Ladies and gentlemen, we shall be starting from Team Ghana. Accra International Airport is where we'll be landing now. The national anthem of Ghana. Accra International Airport. If I'm going to travel by flight to land at the Kigali International Airport, it will take me 5 hours and 7 minutes. But before I say Jack Robinson, I'm at the city of 1,000 hills, the anthem of Rwanda. God bless Rwanda.
The National Nigerian Invitational Women's Tournament kicks off today, and the opening match is going to be between Rwanda and Ghana. Earlier today on, my colleague Bob was in the middle for the toss.
Hello and welcome to our match day one, game number one of the 5th edition of the Nigeria Invitational Women's T20 Tournament, live here at the Tafawa Balewa Square Cricket Over in Lagos. Our first match of the day, Rwanda will be taking on Team Ghana. With me here in the center are the two captains, Dianmi Menyimana, the captain of Team Rwanda, Jacqueline Kokam, the captain of Team Ghana, and our match official, Mr. Toye Timinadi, to officiate the toss. I believe, Dian, you're home. You'll be doing the flipping. Heads is the call. And tell it is, Diane, you've won the toss. What are you going to do and why?
We are going to bat first. We've been here on this ground. We know how it behaves, so we want to come and make sure that we put ourselves on the game by batting first, and we see how it went.
Right. Familiar conditions here in Lagos, exactly at this particular ground. Any changes in the team? What are the news coming in from your side?
Yeah, we have a youngster coming in, one of the good batters back home. She's the one making the debut today, so she's the only one who's new on the list for this first game.
What total are you looking at?
Anything 120 plus, that would be a good score.
All the best.
Thank you.
Jacqueline, come through. You lost the toss. Did you go in your favor as well?
Well, it didn't favor me, but I thought I would win so that we will bat first and to make a good total, but it didn't work that way. So we are good to go.
Now that you're going to be bowling fast in this particular game, your first game, you have a team mixed with youngsters and experienced players. What total would you feel would restrict Team Rwanda here?
It's going to be nice and it's going to be okay. We have a good bowlers and it will work for us.
All the best.
Thank you.
And the news coming out here in the middle is that Team Rwanda have won the toss and they have decided to have a bat first.
Thank you very much, Bob. There you have it. 3 meetings already between these two sides. Ghana winning the toss in 2 previous encounters, electing to bat field first. This time around, Rwanda won the toss and they will continue on the batting inning streak. I will be taking the comments box today with my colleague, same person who ran the toss, Bob, quickly running you through the team sheet. Captain of Rwanda, Benayuma Mari, alongside Alice, is in the team today. Giselle Nshimwe, Clarice, also in the starting 11. Marvel, Harriet, Teresa Nshimwe, Alice, Belize, Giovanni Wasi, Rosie Herrera, Rosette, and making a debut today, Fanny, in the team. Quickly into the Ghana starting lineup, the captain, Jacques Kokam, alongside other capped players, Elizabeth Ano, Rebecca Adotier making a debut, Ellen Otu Aseti, another familiar side in the squad, Rashida Tusalia, Miriam Eshun, Evie Yebua, Kate Awura, a very familiar face, as well as Grace Esun, Grace Kwaso, and Ernestina Sagui. Memorable pictures being taken there by the teams. Rwanda is a side that has been in every edition of this tournament. This tournament initially started off as a bilateral series between the first edition between Nigeria and Rwanda, and over time was expanded, accommodating more teams into it, and Rwanda have been ever present in every single edition of this tournament. It is nice to see familiar faces on this ground again for the Rwandan side. Full faces seen here already. We've got 5 players who've been in every single edition of this tournament for Rwanda. The likes of the captain herself, Mari Bimenyimana, Alizi Kuzwe, Giselle Nshimwe, Harriet Nshimwe, Flora Irakoze hasn't played for a while. She didn't play in the last edition of this tournament, and she's starting this time around not playing. The person in the middle there getting an applause is Fanny. The youngster making a debut for Rwanda. It's very, very accommodating atmosphere for the youngster. This side has been very, very promising. Rwanda winning 1 edition of this tournament. They've won 1 out of 4 previous appearances. Looking for their second. And Fanny has been brought into the side to help them in that goal that they look forward to attaining. Our 2 standing umpires for today, Peju and Deborah. Deborah being the standing umpire for this first inning as Kweju walks to the square leg region. And I will call on Bob to further analyze this game with me. Welcome on board, Bob. It's nice to work with you once more.
Women's Invitational T20 International Games here at the Tafawa Balewa Square. Of course, if you're just joining us live, Rwanda won the toss and decided to have a bat first against Team Ghana. Not the first time these two are facing off each other. As you see, the debutant Fanny making her way to open the batting shot, number 47, alongside Giselle Ishimwe, who just handed her cap to the debutant Fanny, who's been very impressive, been knocking at the doors of the national team, and the rewards you can see.
And it also appears that the opening bowler for Ghana is going to be Rebecca Adoti. Rebecca Adoti, who was the MVP in the recently concluded Ghana Women's League, picking up the MVP, and she was the only player from the Accra Tulips to come to make the national team side for this Ghana. Picking up the first ball is more of a very, very huge task, because we know how very, very compact Rwanda is in the batting, especially when they're batting against Ghana, putting up huge figures and restricting Ghana on 2 occasions below 60.
And of course, I will say there, Peter, as we're waiting for the very first ball to be delivered in this 5th edition, the last time these two faced off each other was 3 years ago at the same ground here at the Tafawa Balewa Square, where Rwanda, of course, batted first, scoring 158 for 3 in their allotted 20 overs, and ended up restricting bowling out Team Ghana to 41 all out inside 16.3 overs. And the umpire says play, fast ball. Lovely shot through covers on that occasion. The chase is on, but the chase will be in vain. She opens her account in international cricket with a lovely cover drive. Is Fanny Utagushima.
No pressure at all for the batter. That ball stayed down, very slow. There was no turn to it. She did the right thing there. Look at this. Analyze that first ball.
Following that occasion now, lovely shot. Look at the pose she held. It shows you how confident she's been in the local league, of course, carrying that form into the international stage. Fanny Utagushima. Of course, talking about the toss earlier with the two captains, Diane mentioning 120. Full again on that occasion. Can this be back-to-back boundaries? Oh yes, you betcha. As she gets another lovely cover drive, is Fanny Utagushima Ninde, making a statement in her very first 2 deliveries in international cricket.
Too soon to call it a dream debut, but that ball this time came towards the stump, but still same shot from Fanny. Very lovely drive, and she will boast of 2 quick boundaries in 2 balls. Not looking good for Adoti right now, Rebecca. No, she's coming up from a momentum representing our local team.
While she delivers there, and the umpire acknowledges as she signals wide on that occasion from Rebecca. Very good start, you'd say, here for the youngster Fanny Utagushima Ninde. You see she's very strong batter down the wicket, down the ground. Anything pitched up, she'll take you on. I would love to see the young Rebecca. A lot of youngsters in this particular game. Full again on that occasion. No chance whatsoever for the fielder at covers, and this time round, the wideish deep extra cover cuts it down to only 2 runs. Very good fielding in the deep.
Fanny seems to be very, very confident and very excellent in playing to those cover drives, finding these slots, finding that gap, making sure that ball penetrated the gap. Good tactics to actually have a fielder at that cover region, as they've understood the bowling of Rebecca and as well as the batting of Fanny.
In the air this time round, nobody's in that particular region. The fielder has to cover a lot of ground, but the ball races away once again to the boundary. 3 boundaries Coming off for the first four. Courtesy of Fanny Utagushima Ninde. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Full on that occasion, opened the front leg. She knew the fielder was way wider at deep extra cover, allowing the ball to go for yet another boundary. This is a very good start for Team Rwanda.
14-4. Explosive run from Fanny.
Full again, a little bit of fumble there at covers, but her partner, the most experienced batter, Giselle Ishimi, tells her partner, hold your horse, young lady. You're already on 14 of 5 deliveries. Still have a long way to go. Of course, when you look at the way she's been striking the ball coming into this tournament, the 5th edition of the Nigeria Invitational Women's T20 tournament, she was the best batter in the local league, the Elite Women's League back in her country. You can see she's carrying the form down the leg side on that occasion, beats everyone, including the wicket keeper. And the ball races away once again to the boundary. Very healthy over here to start the proceedings from the Rwandans.
Much more faster ball than the previous ball bowled by Rebecca, but she just couldn't keep it on the offside. That ball drifted outside beyond the reach of the wicket keeper, and that's the penalty for it. 4 runs. When you want to bowl to the stumps, better ball next time. But she's been bowling quite slow and giving Fanny enough time to analyze every ball. That pace just wasn't the right one, and that was the penalty for it. Gazelle hasn't had to come on strike for any ball in this opening over, just comfortably staying off strike, waiting for her turn.
On that occasion, tries to overhit the ball, and finally she bowls the dot ball. Is Rebecca. As we come to the end of the first over, it is 20-0 Team Rwanda. Some of the highlights of the boundaries over the young debutant Fanny Utagushima Ninde, hitting of course 3 boundaries through covers. Very strong player she is down the ground, of course, taking a liking of this outfielder, very electric outfielder. And that was the 3rd boundary, toying with the field in the very first over. As we come of course to the end of the first, Giselle Ishimi will be facing bowler coming in from the Court of Appeal end. New bowler coming in from the Court of Appeal end, wideish delivery there, and Giselle Ishimi cuts it powerfully as she gets off the mark in style in the similar fashion as her partner Fanny Utagushima Ninde with a boundary.
4 people to bowl that kind of ball too, certainly not Giselle. That ball swinged in and she just cuts it beyond the reach of the wicket keeper. Good start for Giselle, picking up from the momentum of Fanny. Grace, another bowler to taste an early boundary of the first ball of Nova. Giselle Chinwe coming into this tournament already as the highest individual, most runs in the tournament. My correction. Giselle already has 381 runs in 18 innings. No batter in this tournament has scored more runs than Giselle Ishimwe, having been here since the very first edition of the Nigerian Women Invitational. First tournament, she only registered 10 runs, and she's been able to put up 371 more runs, putting herself way up there. But now she will stay off strike. Fanny will taste the new bowler. First show of respect, first display of respect by Fanny. That ball came too few, good length from Grace.
A very good bowling there from Grace. Bowling it, of course, a little bit slower on that occasion. She loves pace on is Fanny. She has a deep backward point and a long one in play. The only two fielders outside the wing. Shot on that occasion, pulled away, not enough timing. Straight to the fielder at mid-wicket. Back-to-back dot balls.
Almost missed that ball, Fanny. Late reaction just helped her make contact with the ball, as she could have seen her debut actually end too soon. Another lifeline. Remains to see how she uses it.
Shot again up and over the fielder at covers. Can this be yet another boundary? Oh yes, it does get all the way to the boundary for another boundary for Fanny Utagushima. She is dealing in boundaries at the moment here, Peter.
Not even minding who's coming to bowl, regardless of the bowler. She's making sure she finds the boundary. She's been playing into the gaps, been driving the balls towards the boundary, and now this time around she hooks, she pulls it, and adds 4 more runs to the board for Rwanda. A dream debut, I will call it, Bob. 18 off 9. The youngster is not slowing down.
Shot on that occasion again. Nothing Boyd would say there from Grace. The chase will be in vain once again. It is indeed a dream debut for the young Fanny Utagushima as she moves into the 20s in no time.
The hooks, the very short ball and good form of contact to the ball sends it all the way to the boundary. And then the second over, 33 on the board, no wickets lost. Fanny and Gazelle feasting.
With that boundary, of course, we come to the end of the second over. It is a 33 for naught for Team Rwanda, moving at 16.50. Not the best, of course, of stats there from the Ghanaians. Rebecca coming in to bowl her second over. She was very expensive, went for 20 runs in a very fast over. Let's have a look at her field. She has a deep square leg and a deep extra cover for Giselle Ishimwe and Fanny Utagushima Ninde. We've seen so far in the first 2 overs, anything pitched up and with offered has gone for a boundary. Very good players score the wicket at these two. Interesting to see the leading one scorer in all the editions here in Nigeria, the Tafawa Balewa Square. She is enjoying the action from the other end. Shows you how good at the moment Fanny Utagushima Ninde has been.
This time, having been played towards into the gap between the covers and the point, seeing a deep square leg, I understood the assignment. She now wants to come and attack the Storms, and she's started off very, very fine.
For that occasion, well driven straight back to the bowler. It's going to take a lot of work to chase down that one as she gets another boundary. Giselle Ishimwe, straight as you like, you'd say there, Peter.
Couldn't agree more, Bob. That ball came straight to the stumps and nobody there as that ball just goes straight. Very lovely straight drive, and the fielder could only chase in vain. Big 4. Every single bowler, the 2 bowlers they've used have actually been hit to the boundary by both batters on the batting crease. This is the first over of Rebecca that Giselle is batting, and she's made use of that.
Very good signs indeed there, Peter. Especially from these two opening batters. Always nice to see them using their full face. And again, coming back to Rebecca's line and length. Every time she's pitched up the ball, it has gone for a boundary. I would love to see her drawing her length back. Shot on that occasion. White signal by the umpire. Two fielders, of course, converge. Oh, the chase is in vain. That late diver not allowing her to stop the ball to run all the way to the boundary.
Each time Rebecca had come, trying to bowl extra fast, she had made mistakes sending that ball to the boundary. She really needs to just focus more on her line and length. Each time she's come full. Last time she came full in the previous over of the last ball, Fanny couldn't get a run off of it. She should try and maintain that line and length. Trying to come fast to try and take the batters off guard doesn't seem to be working out.
2.3 overs. Rwanda is edging closer and closer to that 50. Right inside the power play. Full on that occasion again. But this time round, not enough timing from Giselle Ishimwe. As of course, we get this opportunity to wish our lovely Muslims all over the world a happy Eid. May Allah, of course, accept your fasting and prayers and reward you with endless blessings and joy and peace. And also we thank our lovely sponsors, Providence Bank, Defabet and Rusa Advisory. Touch and go, but nowhere to go, says the fielder at covers. Very good comeback, you'd say there from Rebecca. A dot ball here for the Ghanaians is it's like gold to them, you'd say.
Yeah, they've been really played a lot. You look at the balls board and the runs on the board. It's certainly not encouraging for them going into the second over. And the wickets haven't even started to fall yet. Fanny is already comfortable.
They've touched there from Giselle Ishimwe as she moves into double digits.
Lovely end to the third over. 42 on the board, no wickets lost. For a 3-run partnership, Fanny registering 22 of that and Giselle registering 10.
Eleven extras being bowled inside the 3 overs. Very, very suicidal from Team Ghana. 43 from Nota. When you look at that batting lineup, followed by the captain herself, Bimenyimana Maridian Uwase Merveille, who was hitting the ball very powerfully in the nets, alongside the Clarice Umutoni Iwase and Henrietta Ishimwe Teresa. You'd feel like if they don't get to that 180 plus odd runs in this particular game, they would have missed out, given of course the start they've had from Giselle Ishimwe and Fanny Utagushima Ninde.
Grace coming again. This time slapped hard all the way to the boundary. And Giselle continues the momentum from the previous over. Both batters seem to be having a laugh. Very comfortable batting. In every over, we've seen fielders from the Ghana side accompanying the ball to the boundary as they tried to stop it, but ended up just escorting the ball to the boundary. This might be the fastest 50 runs partnership we might see in this tournament.
Absolutely, these two have batted sensibly at the moment. 47 for North, only a boundary shy to get to that half century. Shot on that occasion, up, chips in the dive. Oh, what a take there from the fielder at a short square leg. Very good running catch as she chipped in a dive on the very last moment to dismiss Giselle Ishimwe, who didn't have enough timing on the occasion.
Yeah, Giselle didn't have time to stay there too long. That ball short, she wanted to meet it. That late turn just made the ball hit the edge of the bat and straight into the arms of the fielder. Very much needed catch, as Ghana seems to have been losing momentum, but that catch I'm sure must have boosted their confidence up a little bit. And they successfully sent out Giselle for 14. Could only add 14 more runs to our total score in this tournament. And we're not surprised to see the captain, Marie, step in. Captain, we're used to seeing Marie open the baton for the Rwandan side. And now she decided to step back a little bit and let Fanny take that lead. And now she's pairing with Fanny, experience and energy. Very perfect blend. It just remains to see how far it goes. Sad to see that they couldn't build up a 50-run partnership. But regardless, this is starting to look more like a competitive match. We're seeing the field tight and the bowling is starting to look more precise for Ghana.
Fast wicket down again, but again, got to give a lot of credit to the fielder who took the very, very good catch. One of the catchers of the tournament, you would say. Diane Menyimana, the captain, joins the youngster, Fanny Utakushimaninde. Diane, on the other side, has had a drought of runs at these particular pitches here in Lagos at the Tafawa Balewa Square, with the highest score being 26. Plays it on the back footer.
Grace have been very, very consistent with that swing, outswing and in-swing. The outswing and the in-swing from the previous ball luckily took out the wicket, got them the very much needed wicket of Gazelle. And she's starting to do the same to Marie.
A deft touch there from the captain as she gets off the mark. Flicked it into the vacant fine leg region as they pick up a double at these two. Very good running between the wickets from Fanny Utakushimaninde and the captain.
A very good cautious start. Like I said, experience mixed with blends with the energy. She saw that ball. She's faced a lot of balls. Knows how the balls come in. And the balls are still swinging in. Did the right foot thing, stepped back and flicked it towards the leg side. 2 runs. Rwanda already at a very comfortable pace right now.
Shot on the occasion now. Plays it on the back foot. Watchfully there from the captain. Looking for the second, but the youngster says, hold your horse, captain. As the 50 comes up for Team Rwanda inside 3.5 overs. For the loss, of course, of 1 wicket, Giselle Ishime. I would love to see these two capitalizing on this start.
Fanny Grace doing very good so far. She's picked up a wicket, only giving out 20 runs, which is quite a lot if you look at the number of overs bowled, but she's got the big wickets. Bowled shot and properly dealt with, didn't get to the boundary, and they will settle for 1. Mary goes off strike off the last ball to go to start the next in over on strike. It's 51 on the board for 1 wicket lost after 4 overs.
Rebecca bowling has 2 overs, went for 30 runs with an economy of 15. Very, very expensive 2 overs, and Grace picking up that wicket, breaking the partnership, going for only 21 runs with an economy rate of 10.50, but the extras are too many to my liking. 11 extras being bowled inside 4 overs. Last 2 overs of the power play. They would love to get to that 70 or even more runs to make sure, of course, before the field will be spread after the power play. They have a deep extra cover for Fanny Utakushimaninde and a deep square leg.
And there's the face they were very familiar with, Kate Awuwa. One of the most efficient bowlers this Ghana side has. Kate Awuwa has been in the squad for every edition of this tournament. Ghana have had 2 previous appearances in this tournament, only missing the last one. And Kate Awuwa has been one of their very best bowlers. They haven't really picked up too many wickets in that time frame. She picked up 3 in the first one, 2 in the second appearance. And looking to pick up more. Kate is yet to get a wicket against this Rwanda side in any of the tournaments, in any of the previous editions. she will really need to pick up that one. Now it's experience against versus experience. Kids versus Fini.
Kate, one of the experienced players for the Ghanaian side, as you just mentioned. Lovely shot again. Listen to the sound, and no chance whatsoever for the fielder. A deep extra cover that came out of the sweet spot of blade is Fanny Utagushima in the width offered by the experienced Kate Awa, and she pays the price.
Ruthless Fanny, ruthless as ever. Saw that ball, saw the pitch, and dealt with it amicably. A lot of short balls have been bowled here today, Bob. If you ask me, I would say the Rwandan batters are actually being merciful in terms of dealing with the short balls. The Storms haven't really been attacked. Again, this time around, but they will settle for one as Fanny goes off strike for Diane. Kitawa, another bowler that has had to be tested by Fanny, sent to the boundary as well. A first boundary, and by none other from the energetic Fanny.
But again, Peter, to catch you short, if you can ask yourself, one of the reasons you can see they have licked a lot of runs in the power play, the Ghanaian side. The last time they played an international game was 3 years ago. And of course, some of the experienced players are missing out with offered again. Easy pickings for the captain. They will settle for only 1 run. And of course, Team Rwanda, they last played last year in September in the Africa qualifiers back in Namibia. But again, they've been playing a lot of local leagues in their country. You can see Fanny Utagushima Imana, who's been leading in the runs in the local leagues. She has carried her form all the way to Nigeria, 28-15. She's looking like she's batting on a different pitch, or she's been playing for the national team for quite some time. Swing and a miss on that occasion, loud appeal. But the two umpire says not out as we come to the end of the 5th over. It's 57 for 1. So to me, Peter, coming back to that point, is Ghana has been lacking a lot of exposure to play games, even in their local leagues. They haven't been playing a lot of games.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, but the only international tournaments that Ghana have been playing in is this Invitational one, and they've not had an active females league up until last year, where even now you look at their best performing player in the League One, Rebecca, had to dish out 30 runs in the first 2 hours of play, and that just tells you that they've not really had that much of exposure and a lot of competitive engagements to actually meet up with the standards of the Rwandan side. And this Rwandan side have been very consistent in terms of decimating the bowling lineup of the Ghanaian side. New bowler introduced, Miriam. And with the outswing ball, first ball, dot. Slow and steady for Marie.
Swing and a miss there from the captain. She saw that with offer, and her eyes lit up, trying to play through the cover region where this is only one fielder patrolling the offside on the boundary ropes. But again, you would feel, you would understand that she's trying to capitalize the last over of the power play.
That swing arm pays off. Another dot hasn't. This is the longest. This is the highest number of balls we've seen in an over without going for the boundary. I think it's probably because we haven't seen Fanny come on strike. Fanny has made sure she sent every bowler she faced to the ropes.
Very sloppy there, but they don't take on that quick single. Very well said there, Peter. I would love to see Imana Dian, the captain, get off strike, let the youngster who is striking it to probably to take charge. And now she's ended up eating up 4 dot balls in the over. They would have loved to target that 70 mark inside the power play. Shot on that occasion, a white signal by the umpire.
Free gift, I like to call it. If the runs ain't coming off the bat, they could come in other ways. And Miriam has shown us one of the way, giving out a wide after 4 very lovely deliveries. 1 more run on the board for Rwanda. Imeyimana Murray still on strike. Very lovely with the swing, but this time around expected by Imeyimana Murray, and they take a quick single, and Fanny will face the last ball of this over.
Interesting over here from Diane, of course, having faced 4 dot balls. She ends up picking up a single straight to the sweeper at a deep extra cover, allowing Fanny Utagushima Ninde to face the last over, the last ball, I beg your pardon, of the power play. Can she get a boundary? Short ball left alone, a white signal by the umpire.
A lot of fear Fanny has put into the hearts of the Ghana bowling lineup. They've tried several strategies on the wicket, on the stumps, of the wicket, but she's been making contact with every single ball. I think Miriam wanted to keep it just way outside and did too much of that, and she has to remove that ball. Comes very full. Fanny doesn't find the boundary, but she will be on strike for the next ball of the next over to settle for 1 run. It's 61 on the board, 1 wicket lost, and an end to the power play overs.
Seven of 20 from Fanny Utagushima Ninde and Giselle Ishime. 61 for 1 after 6 overs. That's the end of the power play. You'd feel that the Rwandan side have done themselves a very good job getting that 61 inside 6 overs. Should be a very big total, you'd say, there for the Rwandans if they keep on capitalizing on this start. They have a deep extra cover. Long off. Interestingly, right after the power play are the only fielders outside the ring, as we see the captain sending the fielder at fine leg down the leg side. Starts off with an extra. Is Kate.
No extras are being given out in this inning. We've seen 2 wide 4s and more extras. 14 extras have been bowled in this inning, and in just 6 overs, that is quite a lot if you ask me. 14 extras. Ghana really need to curb it as fast as possible.
Outside off stamp, and nowhere near the ball was Fanny Utagushima Ninde. Taking their time to set the right field. They send a long one outside the ring for Fanny Utagushima Ninde as she picks up yet another single, allowing the captain now to take strike. She's faced 9 deliveries for her 5 runs. Spoke about how she's had a drought of runs in the Invitational tournaments. So far she's been part of all the tournaments. This being the 5th edition with 110 runs in the 3 editions he's been part of. Full on that occasion, a lovely shot from the captain, running very hard for the second. Fanny Utagushima says, I will take on the arm of the fielder at long off as they pick up a very, very much needed double.
The expanded field has seemed to sort of pay off for Ghana as those balls that we've seen go to the boundary are being cobbed by the outfielders.
With offer again from the experienced Kate, but this time round the captain picks up, finds the only fielder at pointer. She had no pace to work with, is Diani Menyimana. Interesting 5th edition we have here on the cards, Peter, as we have the likes of the South Africa under 19s, Zimbabwe under 19s, and the Nigerians who will be playing the second game late in the afternoon. Walked on the onside, sloppiness there from the fielder at short mid-wicket, allowing these two to pick up yet another double. Gonna be running very hard. The sun is out here at the Tafawa Balewa Square.
Couldn't agree with you more, Bob. We're seeing this team we've seen this tournament get more attention. We've had the likes of Gambia play in it, Cameroon. We've had the likes of Sierra Leone even come to play in this women's invitation. And now we're having the South Africa under 19, we're having the Zimbabwe under 19. These are full member nations of the ICC. It's just a matter of time before we start to get the senior teams to make their presence in competitions like this.
Lovely shot again from the captain, picking out the sweeper at the extra cover for yet another single. She will keep strike as we come to the end of the 7th over. 69 for the loss of 1. Very good comeback there from Kate. Let's have a look at that again. The catch. Full on that occasion. Tried to play it on the onside, but what a take there from the fielder who had to cover a lot of ground and chipped in. Yet a dive on the last minute. The captain leading from the front. In the air, who wants it? There's a fielder in the deeper as she takes a very comfortable catcher, and that should be the end of the captain for her pedestrian knock of 10 or 15 deliveries as she has to take the long way back to the dugout, shaking her head. She's not the happiest. Is the captain Diani Menyimana as they pick up their second is Team Ghana. 69 for the loss of 2.
Menyimana's drought continues. Very much more deserved wicket for Miriam. That ball should have let that ball go into the wide, but she had advanced and wanted to complete the shot. Didn't want to leave the ball at the mercy of the wicket keeper. Regardless, she sent herself parking, and our runs drought, and the women's invitational continues. More games to play. We hope to see Mary play better, but it's nice to see Henriette.
Shot number 18, Mutoni Uwase Clarice joins Fanny Utagushima Ninde. But again, a lot of credit to the bowler picking up her first wicket of the captain. She bowled a very tight first over, went for only 4 runs. When you look at that again on the replay, she saw the captain taking charge and bowled it away from her reach. Let's have a look at that again on the replay, the wicket over the captain. Very smart bowling there, bowling it way outside off stumper, allowing her to throw the kitchen sink at that one, picking up the only fielder in the deep who took a very easy catch. 69 for 2 after 7.1. It's going to be the left hand right hand combination from Clarice Umutoni Uwase and Fanny Utagushima Ninde.
Yeah, the decision to go and stretch for that ball came with consequences, but it's still nice to see that Fanny, who is in hot form, is still there and batting. 1 wicket already for Miriam Eshun. Miriam is the only bowler with less than 4 run economy, giving out 4 runs in the previous over. A lot of appeals. That ball hit the stumps of Clarice. A leg by signal by the umpire. Fanny comes on strike. Fanny has only managed to face 1 ball for Miriam, and Fanny, who has successfully sent every bowler she's faced to the boundary, will be tested against the informed Miriam.
I don't mind the idea there, because now this time around she is coming round the wicket to the left-hander Mutoni Uwase Clarissa, trying of course to target that off stump. Very smart bowler she is, as you just mentioned. Let's have a look at the field set for the new batter in. There is a long off, a deep extra cover. The only 2 fielders outside the ring. A full bowler punished. Easy pickings there as she gets off the mark in style. Taking a liking of this field set from the Ghanaians.
Isn't looking too comfortable bowling to a left-hander, as you saw that ball was full and going to the leg side, and all Clavis just had to do was just flick that ball, as there was already enough power behind it to send it into the gaps to the fine leg region.
Easy pickings you say there from Clarissa Mutoni Uwase. I'm not sure this Ghanaian side, yes, it is a mixed youngsters and some experienced players. They have 8 fielders inside the ring. Given the way these two are striking, 74 for 2 inside 7.3, I would love to see more boundary fielders try and cut down these boundaries.
Now Miriam has joined the list of bowlers for this Ghana side who has been sent to the boundary. It's the first boundary that she's given out in this inning, but we're still going to count it as a list of bowlers that will be sent to the boundary. It's just a matter of time before Fanny gets her own taste. Wide is the signal, way too outside of off. It's been very clear that Miriam is having a lot of difficulty bowling to a left-hander. She's trying to keep that ball on the left-handers off, which isn't really her niche, but that is why she is a bowler. She needs to find that adjustment, find the rhythm, and just try and get another wicket.
And of course with that boundary they sent a fielder at deep at fine leg, down the leg side again. Struggling in her second over is Miriam. So far she's given away 3 extras and a boundary, of course, trying to target the pads, and she is paying the price. Not turning out to be an easy day in the office with the ball for the Ghanaians. So far they have licked a lot of runs, you would say, moving at 9.9 runs and over. They have a very good batting lineup. Is Team Rwanda, the likes of Ariette Ishimwe still out there padded up, and Uwase Merveille.
If there's anything Ghana would look to do is not to be victims of a high-scoring match. But funny as it may sound, Rwanda actually do post 2 of the 3 highest runs total in this tournament. Tanzania have 1, putting up 178 against Sierra Leone, and the second on that list is Rwanda with 158 for 3 against this Ghana side, and they also have 155, but that was against another team, Cameroon. Now they will want to top that, and Ghana will look to avoid that plan that Rwanda has. Fanny already electrifying, being off the chart, batting, making sure she's been making runs. Isn't finding the boundary at the moment, but with time, if she stays, the longer she stays there, the more comfortable she gets, and that is just not what they want.
8 overs done and dusted, 78 for 2, 18 extras being bowled inside 8 overs. Very suicidal, you'd say, for Team Ghana. Fanny Utagushima Ninde still not out. 31 off 19, 6 boundaries with a very good strike rate of 163. Joined, of course, by Omutoni Uwase Clarissa. Again, Diane failing to capitalize on that start, falling very cheaply, the captain of Team Rwanda. Very smart batting there from Fanny Utagushimimana, getting a single to make sure she takes striker up and over. There will be a chase there from the fielder in the deeper. Lovely footwork there from the fielder at deep extra cover, but they pick up a double at these two every time. She's faced, she's made sure she gets a boundary or she keeps the scoreboard ticking. Is Fanny Utagushima Ninde. I'm not sure the batters coming in, they know the assignment. She's been striking it with ease. Is the debutant. Every batter has come in. They have tried to hit the ball with a lot of power, not getting the timing right. I would love to see them getting their eye in fast. Try and get off the striker. Let the youngster who has struck, I beg your pardon, 6 boundaries so far in that 33.
I recommend Fanny. She's been very, very selective with her shots, knowing when to hit and when to just kill the ball there. She's been very selective, hasn't tried to do too much and hasn't left a popping crease to attack any ball. Stay there and might get a reward.
Takes a little shimmy on that occasion, but well ball by the experienced Kate Aua. Bowling it slightly away from her reach.
Ivy Sands are really itching for an edge. She's been very proactive behind the stumps. Hasn't really let any ball go past her except for those 2 wide fours which evidently were out of reach. But balls coming towards her, she's dealt with it properly.
Takes a little shimmy again. Straight to the fielder who has been the busiest so far in the 8.4 overs. Where Fanny, of course, has struck 4 boundaries on the offside through cover region. Rebecca is the fielder who has been very, very busy. Always a good sign, Peter, when you see batters opening the batting, scoring their boundaries through cover region. Especially I, Bob, I'm the happiest seeing Fanny Utagushima getting those boundaries with ease, using her full face, the elbow high. The technique is spot on. One for the future, you'd say.
Couldn't agree more, but we tend to see a lot of batters play big shots and mostly to the leg side because of the power hand. And she has been very selective. She has been very, very professional. I'll correct myself. Rather than finding big shots, she's been finding gaps. And that's actually really well paid off for her. 34 of 23. On your debut, it's not a small feat.
Change of pace there from Kate Awai. Another dot ball. Interestingly there from Clarisse Omutoni Uwase. They have a deep extra cover, long off and long on, and deep square leg. The only 4 boundary riders for the left-hander. Takes a little shimmy. Will drop shot at the fielder in the deep. It's not interested in the second one is the young Fanny Utagushima Ninde. You'll understand why, Peter.
Very much do, Bob. Very much do. Both batters now want to just enjoy themselves in the batting crease. Clarisse still has a long way to go in terms of matching Fanny's runs total. But we will come back after to begin the 10th over. 82 on the board so far, 2 wickets lost.
Ellen Otu Asante has been introduced into the attack. Shot number 7 coming in from the Court of Appeal end. Up against these 2, Clarisse Omutoni Uwase, who's striking it at 100, and our partner, Fanny Utagushima Ninde. How many more can they add as we are edging closer to the halfway stage of the first innings? Starts off with an extra down the leg side.
Got a good start for Ellen Asante, another MVP in the Ghana Women's League 2. He's back in this side. You can understand the fact that they've not had a lot of competitive games for a long time, and I saw it show a little bit of rust. Back-to-back extras, 20 extras so far. We are not even into the midway point of this game. A lot of work needs to be done by Ghana. At this point, Rwanda is not even trying to score runs anymore. They're just trying to just keep their wickets long enough. Rwanda hasn't lost too many wickets to this Ghana side. They've been very, very compact once it comes to competitive play with this Ghana side.
Laula played on that occasion, but the umpire is not interested at all. She is coming round the wicket. Interestingly, she has only one fielder patrolling the onside, given, of course, Clarissa Mutoniwase, who is very strong in that deep mid-wicket region. Anything that she bowls in her arc will be a boundary. Down the leg side again. Another extra. Make that 20 extra so far inside 9.1 overs. They've bowled nearly 3.2 overs of extras. Something they need to work on. It can be a very long tournament for the Ghanaian side.
It's been very evident their problem is bowling to a left-hand bowler, a batter. If it is not a wide, it is getting punished. Good stop by Miriam Eshun. Fantastic bowler and a fantastic fielder as well. Stop the ball that seemed destined for boundary. The decision to get Clarice here with Fanny is paying off. They've brought a little bit of confusion to the Ghana bowling setup. Bowling one ball to a right hander and the next ball you have to readjust your line and length because of the arm coming in to face. Miriam struggled. Ellen is struggling. Another ball onto the leg. Miriam there, dealt with it properly, and they will settle for 1 run. We've not seen Fanny come on strike too often in the last 3 overs. She's been mostly off strikes, getting the run, and she's from that 1 run she primarily stays off strike because every ball that's come after that is either going towards the boundary and giving them a chance for 2 runs. Is this a catch? Very lucky. Just bounces out after the bowler's wicket. The mid-off was too far away to get to that ball. Another chance for Fanny. Good start for Fanny. 34 of 24. More chances. There we settle for 1 more run as we get into the midway point of this inning. 89 on the board after 2 wickets lost. Water break is the call by the umpires. The opening partnership is still the highest scoring partnership, 47 of 20 balls, with Fanny contributing 22 of that and Gazelle 14 off bat, with 11 extras pushing that total up to that level, and Fanny having to pair up with the captain herself, Bine Miyama, with Bine registering 10 and Fanny adding 8 to that with 22 of 23. Clarice is currently the battering, registering 9, and Fanny adding 5 more to that. and extras boosting that partnership to 20 of 17. We're still here to see more battles coming. 21 extras so far, and just midway point of this game. 18 on the board, 2 wickets lost. Play is about to resume as we come to the ends of the drinks break. The fielding side step in, the batters step back in, and then the comes box. Ball will step out for Endurance to come in. Endurance, welcome to the comes box.
Good afternoon, brother. It's been a nice afternoon here, morning at the TBS Cricket Oval, 5th edition. Interesting sights here around the ground. Rwanda versus Ghana. Third encounter between both teams, and it's Rwanda 89 for 2 after 10 overs. Beautiful sights here, lovely atmosphere, a good environment to enjoy cricket. If you are sitting at home watching from YouTube page of the Nigerian Cricket Federation, find some time and come to the grounds because it promises to be some exciting encounter. And thanks to our sponsors. Here we go, Alphabet, Providence Bank, Russo Advisory. Interesting statistics so far. It's Fani who is leading the pack for Rwanda, 35 of 29 deliveries, 466, the strike rate at 140.
New bowler starts off with a dot. One of the two bowlers yet to be hit by Fani to the boundary. Fani is yet to hit Miriam for a boundary. And it starts off and a sinner's ball. Still a little bit of a struggle up in the air and just outside of the 30-yard circle. 1 run it is, and the left hand Clarice will take strike. The left and the right hand batting have proved to be some sort of a major source of confusion for this Ghana side.
That's why the umpire calls that one. I tell you, Ghana have used 6 bowlers here, just in a mix of 10.2 overs. Interesting to see the makeup here, and they're walking around. Not very pleasant to see 22 extras, but so far it's been the big guns haven't scored for Rwanda. Gisele Ishinwe and the captain Diane. But Fani is still getting on with proceedings, ensuring the scoreboard is kept ticking. And more boundaries for Rwanda.
That left and right arm advantage is coming into play. They've really struggled and most time putting the ball on the leg side. A short ball to the leg side and dealt with amicably by Clarice. With a very lovely sweep shot, sends it all the way to the boundary for more run. Our second boundary of this inning. Clarice now in double figures for Rwanda. Every single battle for this Rwandan side that has come into bat has made sure to get into double figure, with Mari just going out after getting 10 runs on the board for our side and the team. Lovely straight drive by Clarice. Couldn't be caught by the bowler Ernestina, and she had 2 more runs after a lovely boundary of the previous ball. It's still the left arm in strike, the left arm that has proved to be the major source of confusion for the Ghanaian bowlers.
Brilliant shout, and that one will go fingers up. The umpire sure about that one was going to hit, and it's a needed break for Ghana. Always going to be exciting moment for the youngsters. We will call them Black Stars, but I'll tell you one thing here today. It's good to see the excitement in their faces, and Rwanda being the most experienced side here today, and we would expect a lot more, but we've seen how difficult the combination has been. The left and right hand combination is always going to be a challenge, even to the top bowlers.
And when you look at that replay, that ball coming through, you cannot deny that LBW straight on the pad certainly was going for the middle stumps. And they can finally breathe a sign of relief now. That partnership has ended, and now they can go back to bowling their way.
If you think that earlier in the first 5 overs, Rwanda were on 50 plus, I beg your pardon, and how they've come, Ghana have recovered with wickets, crucial wickets in hands. When you take Gisile and Simon with all that experience alongside Diane, and this time around it is Clarice who departs. No doubt Ernestina got the needed break for Ghana. 97 for 3 after 10.5 overs. The Ghana camp will be relieving some pressure right now, because what you require at the moment is to keep the run rate as low as possible while you get wickets. Current run rate sits on 8.9. That needs to come down a bit, with projected score on 179. That might prove difficult considering the wickets lost by Rwanda, but I tell you what, there's some depth in this Rwandan side, and they are champions, former champions of this tournament.
Marvel, the new batter, in. And the earlier on at the toss, when Bob asked Jackie how they plan to go and approach this game, she said that they have the bowlers to carry out the task, and it seems to be going just well for her. Already 3 wickets taken by 3 different bowlers, and 3 very important wickets, but they still have a major source of concern, and that is Fanny. Lovely cut, races all the way to the boundary. It does a good start for Marvin Wase. Said earlier.
Brilliant shot. That one flighted, but Wase will always get through that one if he finds the gap, and that's what you need anytime. I agree with you, Peter, and Fanny needs to burst through this innings if Rwanda would get a decent projected score, as we can see on the ball on the score charts. It's the end of the 11th over, and the score on the board is 101 for 3.
Finally, Asante is coming back in to bowl. One of 3 bowlers who hasn't picked up a wicket yet. Grace has picked up one, as well as Miriam and Celestina. And then also one of 3 bowlers who is below a 10 bowling economy. The most difficult person she's bowled to being Clarice is out, and she goes head to head against Fanny. Elaine, the only bowler that is yet to be sent to the boundary, has been finally sent to the boundary by none other than the expected face, Fanny. Look at that board, very Eddie. That shot was very, very lovely. A short ball dealt with properly by a young star who understands what it means to be an opening batter. Finally, a taste of the medicine from Fanny.
I think clearly she needs a partner. Inside out, in the air, finds the gap, and this is having a chase by a fielder, but will race away the needed boundary. More and more coming through for Fanny, who moves on to 44 of 29 deliveries.
Lofted above the fielder, mid-off, about very good length, very good approach. Wasn't the shot she wanted. There was a little bit of hesitation there, but luckily that ball went above and still raced to the boundary regardless. 2 more runs, 44 on the board, 6 shy of 50. This would be a very beautiful debut if Fanny successfully stays there and gets to 50. She's been quite calm and she's become explosive again. An edge to the leg side, the races. Does it get to the boundary? No, it doesn't. Jacques, the captain herself, gave the ball a chase as Dale will settle for 2 runs. 46 run it is for Fanny. 4 shy of a personal milestone.
I think she's played beautifully. A strike rate of 148.3. Spent 51 minutes taking advantage of what is there and on the offer.
Ball stayed low, swinged out, and Fanny dots another ball and is over. Ellen had not been sent to the boundary previously in her previous over, and now this time around she's been sent to the boundary twice. Comes full, wasn't properly dealt with as that ball was hit hard on the deck off the bat. 1 run to end the 12th over. Fanny will start the 13th over on strike as it's 112 for 3 wickets lost.
And a beautiful run of play here for Rwanda. In a very comfortable position here. 112 for 3. Those 3 crucial wickets could have been more if Shimwe Gisile and the captain Maria Diane had spent more time in the crease. But this is how it's panning out here at the TBS Cricket Oval. It's the 5th Nigerian Cricket Federation Invitational Tournament, T20Is. Promises to be some nice encounter. 47 to Fanny off 33 balls with 8 boundaries. And strike rate of 142.
And Esther picked up the wicket of the most confusing batter. Is now coming back in to pick up the wicket of the most destructive batter for Rwanda at the moment. Fanny started the first ball, faced the first ball, and is still there. Already seen 3 partnership break and almost joining the out crew, slightly missing the leg stump. And Estina has been very, very economical with her bowling.
She swoops that one. The chase is on. Will it be? Yes, and this is it. A 50 is there for Fanny. A well-deserved one. And she's worked hard. She stayed in there and built those partnerships. And yes, this is the first one for her. You can see that she moves on to 51 of 36 deliveries with 9 fours Already 141 strike rate. It's Fanny who was the happy one here.
What a lovely shot. We've seen Fanny play on the offside quite a lot. This time she was given the privilege to use a power arm and she made good use of that, sending that ball to the deep square region for a boundary. Bright day, bright debut. And this time she's played with the front arm. Lovely drive, sent it into the deep covers region. 4 more runs. She's not stopping at that 50, Andy. She's not stopping anytime soon. She's looking to continue that momentum with consecutive boundaries.
And there you go again, flighted there on the offside. Drives that one smoothly and gracefully to the boundary. Big chase there, but didn't get there. And these are the sights you see when you follow this tournament. I'll tell you something, Peter, we've seen some excitement. Here he's going aggressive now. Another boundary, it seems, big chase, 2 fielders there, but none can reach it. It is possible. We might see here a century if she bats through this innings, but she's held her bat strongly.
Saw the swing beforehand and made room to hit that ball hard. Right amount of contact, and the ball was escorted to the boundary. Fanny on 3 pull fours. And every single economical bowler is starting to get it. Does it race to the boundary this time? No, it doesn't. Rebecca Adotier, the opening bowler, deals with it this time around. Rebecca was sent to the boundary quite often in the first 2 overs, I would say. But she made sure that a 4th boundary of this over did not ensue. 126 for 3 wickets after 13 overs. And this was the shot that got Fanny 2 of 50. Lovely debut for the youngster.
More and more brilliance. I'll tell you what, more and more brilliance. It's just how strong she is on the offside and creating those rooms. And how her boundaries have come through. Ernestina back on the attack this time around.
The bowler who stopped, the player who stopped the last ball from reaching the boundary has been given the ball this time around to come to the wicket. Rebecca coming for a 3rd over. And she comes 2 full, no balls to call. And much to our dismay, Fanny will be the one to face the free hit. Already giving out 30 runs in the first 2 balls, in the first 2 overs. And now, the battle who hit up for so many runs is the one being given the food, the feast of a free hit to Fanny. And Fanny plays it on the ground to the leg side. Big chase is given. Stopped at the edge of the boundary, and 2 more runs will be added to the board for Rwanda. Fanny doesn't look to be slowing down anytime soon, Andy. And the previous highest runs, the second highest run in this tournament was 158 by Rwanda against Ghana. Do you see them beating that? Do you see them actually usurping that runs total in this match?
Well, clearly the potentials are there today. Projected score 197. As long as Fanny keeps batting this way, she's certainly going to take them there. And a century in the cards. Brilliant shot and 2 runs taken from that delivery. It's Rebecca who's back on the attack and trying to just ensure things are slowed down a bit. However, Fanny won't stop, but she's on 65 at the moment of 41 deliveries. She wants more and she's hungry for it. And this is what we've seen from the potentials this Rwandan side have.
Comes very full, but wasn't dealt with properly. Does it get to the boundary? Yes, it does. Fielding error. A ball that was supposed to stop has been given a boost to the boundary. 4 more runs for Fanny. That ball comes full, wasn't stopped by the infielder and wasn't stopped by the outfield player either.
That delivery again showing how execution is important, and we continue to ensure that everything counts. It's finally taking advantage of what is on the offer. Clearly, that dominance as she moves to 70 of 43 deliveries. Wase giving that needed support, but only faced 2 deliveries so far. We've seen real consistency here by Fanny.
Fanny is really having fun. Lovely ball by Dotes. "30 runs of the first 2 deliveries, 9. 30 runs of the first 2 overs, 9 already in this over. Becoming 2 full, and for the 3rd time, 2nd time, she's been punished. 4 more runs. Rebecca doesn't seem to have made amends. 141 on the board after 14 overs for 3 wickets lost.
Big thank you to our sponsors. This is made possible by Providos Russo Advisory. It's been an exciting time. Sego Family Foundation and Dafabet. A crucial partnership between the Nigerian Cricket Federation and these key sponsors. How important it is in this partnership for African cricket, and clearly we've seen the projection of this tournament. This is in its 5th edition. We've seen countries from around East Africa been participating in this tournament, and it started with a bilateral series between Nigeria and Rwanda, both countries really growing together, and you can see how both of them have been at the Under-19 World Cups in recent times.
Good stop. Stop the ball from traveling too far, and they will settle for 1 run. Fanny on fire. Already getting a 50 runs, and currently holds the 2nd best individual score in this tournament so far. The previous 2nd best was by a Rwandan batter, Sarah Wena. And Fanny has usurped that. Fanny has gone on to top that, and is currently 2nd behind Suamu Godfrey Mtai of Tanzania, who in the last edition hit 86 of 57 against Sierra Leone, a tournament that Tanzania went on to win.
We're just talking about how this tournament and how far it's come. In the 2nd edition, Nigeria, Rwanda again regular members of this tournament, saw Gambia, Ghana, and Sierra Leone, with Rwanda winning that one. The 3rd edition was Nigeria, Ghana, Rwanda. Cameroon was invited, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria having that one. More and more from Wase, who begins to pile up a couple, and she comes to 10 from 5 deliveries. The 4th edition was Nigeria, Rwanda against Sierra Leone, Tanzania. But this time Tanzania dominating that tournament before the Africa Games in Accra, Ghana, where we saw the likes of Zimbabwe and South Africa compete in that tournament, and that Zimbabwean dominance, and Nigeria being part of the story there. It's another wide delivery.
The runs are climbing up. Good strike. 1 run it is. Elizabeth Arnor, the fielder who picked the ball and returned it. Wasi Mavel is on strike. Spani will stay off strike. 4 now. Grace with the chance. Grace is being picked up. Does it get to the boundary? No, it doesn't. There'll be a big chase there to feel that deep mid wicket prevented the boundary. And that boundary sends Fanny on strike.
Well, clearly, there's a game plan here. You can see clearly the aggression is coming on right on about now into the last 6 overs of this encounter, this innings. And that dugout would want some more aggression. She comes down the wicket, but chips it just over the bowler. And she will get a single, moves on to 73 of 46 deliveries. And Fanny seems rightly in control of this innings.
Fanny has been very, very professional. When you look at her bat, you feel like she's been in this team for a very, very long time. They're very selective with shots. Played very good front hand shots and had to use the backhand when necessary. And this partnership that she's building with Uwasi Maville is a beautiful one. Both batters are playing with so much experience and calm nerves.
It's the end of the 15th over. 148 for 3. It's been Fanny's day, and she's the one dominating proceedings here. 73 of 46 deliveries. Clearly, the bowling scorecards for you. It's been a wicket apiece there for Mariam Esho and Estina Sego. The economy rate haven't been great, and all lowest seated on 6 and 6.5 in that one between Kate Awua. The batting starts for you, and clearly the partnership up there between Uwase and Fanny produced 51 of 28 deliveries. And between that one is Gisele Shinwe and Fanny, 47 of 20 deliveries. 15 overs bowled, 24 extras. Not what you want to see if you're a Ghanaian, but that's what the scorecard says at the moment here at the TBS Cricket Oval, the heart of the commercial city of Nigeria, Lagos.
Five overs to go. Elizabeth Arnor finally getting a chance to bowl. She bowls to Maville. Narrowly missing that wicket. There we settle for Abai that brings Fanny on strike. Fanny chases the individual best. Remember, the current individual best in this tournament is 86 or 57, knocked by Tanzania Swamu Godfrey Mtai. And Fanny is just a few runs shy of that.
Seems to be in control here, Fanny. Wanting more runs. She's running hard and hitting straight. Always going to score in the V. And clearly, if you're following this game, I'm sure the South Africans, Zimbabweans will be watching closely alongside the Nigerians, wanting to understand this Rwandan setup. We haven't watched them in the net yesterday. They've got plenty of quality and gradually building that. I like the confidence I see. She goes big again, this time in the air, finds the gap with that race away fielder coming around that one. Yes, another boundary.
Making it look easy for Fanny. Very good ball. Fanny waited patiently for that bounce, and the fielder, second time the mistake is being made for a shot from Fanny. 79, all 48 balls, just 8 shy of a new tournament and personal best.
Strong timing on the ball there. Another boundary. This time is just a toss-up and freebies. More and more runs. And here
Fanny is all up for the records. That ball on the stumps and enough space went big, and another fielding error from Ghana. This is their new personal best in this tournament. Previously was 158.43 against Ghana. Now 159.43 against Ghana as well. And Fanny is all up for the records. 4 runs shy of a new tournament, not our personal best, and a tournament best. Does she get it? Yes, she does. Fanny is all into record chasing. A new tournament highest. An individual tournament best. 87 of 50 balls faced.
That's it again. That room there is short and wide, and she lashes onto that one, finding that gap. And she does that nicely. She's in control of it. It's 87 of 50 deliveries into the last delivery of the 16th over. Right now, she's moved her strike rate to 169. That is what you expect from such a strong opening bat. This time seems everything on the bat brings runs.
Like I mentioned earlier, she is playing way too professionally. On your debut, so calm, so relaxed. Same partnerships break, but failed on Weaver. Fanny might go all out and even get the century in the last 4 overs. And then currently now it's her 163 for just 3 wickets lost after 16 overs.
I can't agree less. She seems to be enjoying her time there. And we say when you're in, you get the big scores. The potential is there. 24 delivery left. Clearly, Fanny's up for a century. I'm sure I'm not jinxing it, but it's what, if you're a Rwandan fan, that is what you want to see. And that's the beauty that comes these ways. The last 4 overs of this innings. Clearly, the Ghanaians want that pleasure and try and bring down the run rate. Projected score 204. Join me in the comes walk is Bob. How are you enjoying and seeing this innings?
Absolutely pumped. I've been watching a lot of action of the side here. And the cut away powerfully there from Midway Uwase. They keep the scoreboard ticking. I love the way she came in with a very good positive intent is Uwase Midway. But talking about the youngster Fanny Utagushima Ninde, she's been, of course, the highlight for me inside the 16.1 overs, looking to break a lot of records. To catch you on a couple of stats, and the only 21 players in T20 internationals have scored more than 50 runs plus on debut. And Fanny is one of them, and in no time, she is edging closer to go past Sarah Taylor, the former England wicketkeeper batter who scored 90 on debut. And the highest score on debut is 96 from Karen Rolton back in 2005. What a gem of a player she is. She's still on 87 not out, having faced 51 deliveries.
Brilliant. This time she goes big on the leg side and she will get a couple. She wants a second. She's getting it. And inching closer, now on 89. I'll tell you what, Bob, numbers don't lie, and that's what this tournament is about. We will see numbers in the next 10 days. I tell you what, some excitements to come. I'm excited to see how Fanny has paced herself. Nothing spectacular, kept it very simple, building the innings and gradually accelerating. This is what you want to see. If you're just joining us, it is the 5th edition. She goes big again, finds the gap, and this is another boundary. Yes, she's inching closer. She moves on to 93 of 53 deliveries.
What a gem of a player there on that occasion with offered there full and hit straight down the ground. Took a little shimmy, got to the reach of the ball is Fanny Utagushima Ninde, who moves to 93. She's been a joy to watch wherever you're watching this from live, as she is now sitting on the second in terms of the most runs scored on debut in T20 internationals. What a dream debut for the youngster. It is turning out to be 93 from 53, edging closer to that century. Nobody in T20 internationals in women's category has scored a century. Can she be the first? Is the young Fanny Utagushima Iman.
Nervous 90s, they say, but in T20 cricket and within the 18th over, we're probably going to see something special in this tournament. And clearly, when the big guns strolling, coming down the line, misses out on that one. A bit of pressure here. And the Ghanaians know they have to squeeze things, but it's 171. This is massive and big. This is real question for Nigeria, Zimbabwe, South Africa. And they'll tell you what, real talent here. The coach of Rwanda will be happy to see how things have panned out. Leonard, he's done a great job. He's been consistent with the team. I know clearly at the press conference he said he's taking one game at a time, and that's the end of the 17th over. It is 172 for the loss of 3 wickets. Batting scorecard for you. That's Fanny at the top there. That partnership with Uwese Mavili clearly proving something, but I like how Uwese has paced herself, giving support to Fanny, ensuring she's running hard. And if this 100 comes up, she's played a big part in it, because you need partners to get runs, and this partnership helping Fanny build it, and clearly making sure she rotates the strike. Uwese on strike now into the 18th over. It's Anore.
Full on the occasion, hit with the straight knees. Fanny Utagushima Imana finds the fielder in the deeper. And when you look at that previous over, I love the fact that the youngster took a single to make sure she keeps strike. It shows you how hungry she is to score runs for her side.
And that is how you understand the run of play. As long as you know that's the person who is in form, you always want to get off strike for that person to continue. And this is something our young cricketers will have to continue to learn as they watch this game. But I'll tell you what, between Uwese and Fanny, both of them have gradually crafted the second 50 runs for Fanny. And hopefully she gets it, because it will be an exciting time for Rwandan cricket.
All up on that occasion, but the umpire says that's a no ball, a free hit. A lot of extras being bowled by this Ghanaian side. They've bowled nearly 5 overs of extras, something they need to work on moving forward. It can be a very long tournament for them. The no ball, of course, if you're watching live, they had 5 fielders outside the ring. Free hitter is going to be Midway of Uwase, of course, to face it, who's played a very handy knock and a very good partnership with Fanny Utagushima Ninde. At some stage when she was batting with the likes of the captain Diane and Tony Uwase Clarissa, she didn't get much strike. But once Midway Uwase came in, she allowed her to keep up with that momentum. How she started her proceedings with the bat, getting off strike with back-to-back boundaries. The free hit goes for only 1 run from Uwase Midway, but I don't mind that single being taken by Midway and Fanny. To make sure she keeps facing more deliveries is Utagushima Ninde, who is on 95. Full on that occasion, straight as a die. Nobody moves, says Fanny Utagushima Ninde. She is putting on a show of her own. Just a run shy of that century as she goes past the highest score of any batter in the world on debut in T20 internationals. Going past Karen Bolton, the legend from Australia. She's the youngster. She made that debut today. Was handed the cap by her former opening batter, Giselle Ishimwe. She's now 1 run shy, 99 from 58. Can this be the moment? As Rwanda, of course, crosses 179 Works it on the onside. Look at the celebrations from the dugout of Team Rwanda as Fani Utagushima Imana Ninde makes a record with a century on debut in T20 internationals. What a gem of a player. I'm not sure she understands what she just did. Very casual there in the celebrations. But this will go down as a record in T20 internationals in women's category, courtesy of the young Fani Utagushima Ninde as she removes her helmet.
Thank you, Fanny. Thank you, clearly acknowledging that one, a deserving one. The game sense is there, the match awareness is there, and clearly you can't take anything away from this performance today. It's a century anywhere in the world. Against Ghana, it is 101 of 59 deliveries. Brilliant moment, something to cheer for. She would never forget this moment in her entire life, and this is the beginning of something great. Watch out for that youngster, Fanny. Bob, I tell you one thing here today. Leonard Wood Gapson giving the youngster the opportunity and how she has paced herself. She spoke about how she has competed and played against the likes and batting along the likes of the captain and Diane Gisele, and how she has accelerated this innings. Pure dominance, clearly. Pure dominance, and it's good to see.
Lovely to see from Fani Utagushima Ninde. 100 on debut, breaking a 21-year-old record. And of course, making sure Rwanda post the highest score ever in this fifth edition of the Nigeria Women's Invitational Tournament. Live here at the Tafawa Balewa Square. Moving past, of course, that 178 posted by Tanzania in the fourth edition against Celarion, where they scored 178 for the loss of 4 wickets. Rwanda is sitting on 183 for the loss of 3. Inside 17.5. Can they cross that 200 mark? They still have the likes of Ishimi and Riete. Takes a little shimmy. Listen to the sound again from the blade of Fani Utagushima Ninde. Sloppy in the deep, allowing them to pick up yet another double.
Clearly, this is clear dominance. And see how she has paced herself in this innings. And that brings us to the end of the 18th over. There she goes. She's got the ability, strong on the offside. And clearly, room was given there, and she would take it anytime, any day. Coming down the wickets and finds that gap on the offside again. It's funny. Boundaries upon boundaries. Being consistent here. Game sense is unbelievable. This time she goes on the leg side, more and more runs, and that's how her innings are spanned out. She's taking advantage everything that comes on offer, and she's made sure they all count. And backward proceedings here into the last 2 overs of this innings is 185 for the loss of 3 wickets, and we can call it Fanny's day.
Absolutely, it is, as you just mentioned, Fanny's day. It is her world we are living in, Andy, at the moment. Talk about former. A week ago, she was the best batter in the Elite Women's League back in her country. And now she has carried all that form into the 5th edition of the Nigeria Women's Invitational 2026 with a century on debut, breaking a 21-year-old record. One for the future, you say. Takes a little shimmy is Wase Merve. Nobody moves. They are taking and toying with the field setting of the Ghanaians. Everything that has come out of the sweet spot has gone to the boundary.
The beauty of this game today is the match awareness between these two, knowing when to accelerate, knowing when to work things around. And Wase now becoming the aggressor. Clearly, I've worked it, understanding how important that century is for Fanny and her team. It builds confidence going into this tournament. And I tell you what, the quality we've seen here today is what we would see and much more in coming days when we have them take on Nigeria, Zimbabwe, and South Africa on the 19th. And this is beautiful to see. Wase and how she has dominated. Clearly comes down the line again in the air, but save. And this time there's a fielder out there making sure it would be a single.
What a player she is. Look at the way she is running between the wickets. Having, of course, played out all the 18.3 overs, can she carry her bat? As Rwanda, of course, moves into 190 for the loss of 3 wickets. Takes a little shimmy again. At first time she has edged the ball and she's been put down by the fielder at short third man.
It is deserving for her to carry her bat. I hope she would do that. It's always sweet to see an opening batter bat through the innings and walk out there to take that heroic welcome by their teammates at the pavilion. But I'll tell you, Rwandans will be excited to see that investments are paying off. Comes across it. Uwase goes big. Protection none there. And another boundary for Rwanda. This time clearly they're making a big statement here, knowing how important the net run rate could have a say and the placement at the end of the group stages.
Our records are shattering here at the TBS. I would say, Andy, it's just only the first game of the 5th edition. Already Rwanda is edging closer and closer to that 200 mark. They have broken a lot of records in this particular game. Wase Merveille, of course, earlier I had a chance to see her batting in the net. It's like she's still in the net. She was striking the ball powerfully. She's on 23 off 15, playing a very good handy knock with our partner there, Fanny. Swing and a miss on that occasion, trying to overhit the ball. Misses it completely as we come to the end of the penultimate over. Last 6 deliveries to come, Andy. How many more can they add? And guess what? It's Fanny who will be taking strike.
Minimum of 10 you want to see to that projected score of 205. At this point, we would like to thank our sponsors, Providence Bank, Russo Advisory, Dafabet. They've made it possible to see this beautiful innings by Fanny today. I'll tell you what, this is what good partnership brings on. And I'll tell you, the players are excited to be here. Amazing atmosphere here on a beautiful holiday. If you're at home following this game, it's okay to come to the ground, dragging a cooler. You can have the space for barbecues here. It's going to be beautiful 3 days of cricket, Friday, Saturday, Sunday here at the TBS Cricket Oval. And that is what we want to see. From the Comsbock, it's going to be beautiful all day. Have a friend here, Bob Man, enjoying the atmosphere. And it's a funny day, we call it. It's going to be fun fair.
Absolutely, and it is a lovely day of cricket here. Beautiful Friday. As we also, of course, wish our lovely Muslims all over the world happy Eid. You will let me know later where we're going to have that pilau, Andy. As we come into the last over of the first innings, Miriam, who was very tidy, picking up the very fast wicket, going for only 23, has been given the task to bowl the last over. Still getting that movement she was getting in the first couple of overs. 2 is the call, but this time round, Fanny Utagushima says, hold your horse, young lady, have a go.
The beautiful thing about cricket is when you are in form, when is your day, everything goes right. Everything on the bat here for Fanny is just bringing runs, and that is how this tournament is going to pan out. You're the one in. I remember our playing days, you say once you're in, it's your day, carry through, and Fanny has done that so well.
Full on the occasion on one knee. Can this be the first maximum? You betcha. Courtesy of Uwase Merveille. Slog swept straight to the cow corner region and nearly takes off the car over. My partner here in the commentary box, Andy.
This is a hell of a beauty. Shovels across and goes big. Clearly, she wanted it and she got it in that zone. I like the way she has paced herself. She came in quiet, just rotating strike, ensuring she builds that innings and partnership, giving Fanny, and that's the 200 up, 202 for 3. From 19.2 overs. Projected score now moved slightly to 209. Hopefully they get there. 4 deliveries left. And I'll tell you what, Izuwase, Fanny understands it and say, go have a go.
Match day one, a day of records, I would say. Rwanda having crossed 200, of course. In the air this time round, went for the slog sweep shot again. Chips in a diver, but in vain. As she's been given a very good awareness from Fanny Utagushimi and Uwase Merveille. I love the fact here, Andy, that Fanny is not eager to face. Again, she's done her part. She came, she saw, she conquered, and now she is allowing Uwase Merveille to take on the liking of Grace, who's bowling, of course, the last over of this particular first innings of match day one.
That would have been an easy catch there, but don't matter this time. 204 runs on the board. It's just been the heat here, and the Ghanaians just have to quickly run through this one and come and have a chill day. See how far they can go with the bat. Shovels down the line. Uwase just ensuring the scoreboard keeps ticking.
What a game we've had here on our cards, Mr. Andy. 205 for the loss of 3 inside 19.4 overs. I spoke about when it's your day. We are living in the world of Fanny Utakushimimana and Team Rwanda, you would say. Full on that occasion, well square driven again. A lot of work to be done in the deep. She doesn't hesitate to take on the arm of the fielder and long off is Uwase Merveille, allowing the youngster on debut to face the last delivery of the first innings on her debut. The communication between these two has been very, very spot on.
This is beautiful to see. You face the first and the last ball of an innings. Rare sights, rare occasions this happen, but this has been brilliant by her. She comes down the line, looks to go big, a wide delivery, gets an opportunity to ensure I will face the first and last delivery of this innings. This is beautiful to see. If you're missing this, you should come back and see how this innings of Fanny have projected from starting slow and accelerating in the last 5 overs. But it's good to see, I'll tell you what, the potentials of this tournament clearly in here for the watch.
Last bowler takes a little shimmy up and over the bowler. To is the call from Uwase Merveille. She will stay no doubt is Fanny Utakushimimana for her 111 on debut, having faced 65 deliveries. What a gem of a player. It stays, I think, 0-2, Mr. Andy, as Rwanda, of course, ends the first innings on 210, having won the toss. They decided to have a bat first. The captain, Diarbi Menyimana, spoke about how she was targeting 120 plus runs. Oh boy, they have added 90 more runs on the target she had earlier at the toss. But the story has been that young lady, Fanny Utakushimimana. A lot of youngsters, I believe they are watching back in her country. It tells you a story of never give up. She's been knocking at the doors of the national team. She was dropped earlier, but she made sure she never gave up. And you can see the reward as she walks back unbeaten, carrying her bat, ensuring Rwanda has posted a healthy total over 210 for the loss of 3 in their allotted 20 overs.
That is the beauty of it. The beauty of it, you see how she has carried her bat. 111, Fanny. It is a funny day, you can say. I will really applaud the technical bench of Rwanda, how they have stayed consistent and stayed invested in this talent is good to see, and that's the beauty of it all. Ghana will be requiring 211 runs. The batting scorecard for you there, 111 all 65 deliveries with 17 fours, a strike rate of 170, supported by Uwase Mavali, 32 of 19 deliveries, 5 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6. A strike rate, I'm interested in the strike rate, 168.42. In the last 2 overs she dominated, but what we saw is the game sense and the brilliance of how she walks Fanny into that century. The bowling scorecard for you, nothing spectacular here, just 3 wickets taken, but the best economy rate there came from Kate Awuah, 6.7 after 4 overs, 10 dot balls, conceding 27 runs. Extras, 28 extras, seems to be the third highest score after those 2 batters. The partnership there between Uwase and Fanny, 113 of 57 deliveries, and next to that is Fanny and Gisele, 47 of 20. It is 210, 2011. The summary scorecards for the Fanny, 111 of 65. Uwase Mavale, 32 of 19. Clarisse, 15 of 30. In the bowling card for you, 1-4. 1 wicket apiece for Grace, Miriam, and Ernestina. 1 for 24, 23, and 21 apiece. That's it from the Comes box, and we'll come back to you with the second innings. It's Bob and I Endurance here. Thank you.
All right, welcome back for the chase of our match day one, game number one of the 5th edition of the Nigeria Women's Invitational T20 Tournament. Live here at the Tafawa Balewa Square Cricket Oval. If you're just, of course, joining us live here, it's Rwanda earlier who won the toss and decided to have a bat faster, and they managed to score 210 for the loss of 3 wickets in their 20 overs. Courtesy of Fanny Utagushimimana Ninde, who scored Nelson, having faced 65 deliveries for her century, maiden century on debut, scoring, of course, the highest score on debut, breaking a record of 21 years. Very good knock, of course, there on your screens by Uwase Merveille, contributing 32 of 19 now, but the first half is done and dusted as we see the two openers for Team Ghana, Elizabeth Anor and Rashidatu Salia, opening the batting for Team Ghana. They have a very big task ahead, a mammoth over-total to chase down, of course, if they are to register their very first winner. Belize Murekatete on the other side will be bowling the first ball from the pavilion end. Shot number 10, a slip in play. Full on the occasion, well played with a solid full face of the blade from the experienced Rashidatu Salia, one of the experienced players in the Ghanaian side. She's opted to use the third man in play is Belize Murekatete, the only fielder outside the ring. Shows you how confident they are is Team Rwanda. They have a very big task ahead. So early, of course, in the warm-up, Belize was breathing fire. Edged as they get off the mark, finding the fielder at third man for a single as Team Ghana opens their account in the chase. I won't be alone here in the commentary box. I will be joined by a man who knows a thing or two about these games. He's been part of all the editions. Mr. Ajira Bashewu. Welcome in the commentary box. You've watched a lot of action on the side.
Thank you very much, Bob Bashir Songa. Super excited to be here once again for the 5th Nigeria Cricket Federation Women's T20 Invitational Tournament, the Patricia Kambarami Cup. And I must say that the last time I ran commentaries of this event was some 17,928 hours ago, 1,075,680 minutes and 64,540,800 seconds. And the last time this competition held was 747 days ago. That's 2 years and 17 days. That's March 3rd, 2024, and we are back here. And it's great to be here, Bob, doing this with you. And it's great to see that the 5th edition, we have someone who made a debut, Fanny Utagushimimana, scoring 111 runs in 65 balls. Absolutely brilliant performance from her.
Absolutely, a man with a lot of stats, Mr. Ajiraba. A lot of task ahead, of course, from Rashidatu and Anor opening the batting. Full on the occasion, nearly takes the off stamper. Pace on from Belize Murekatete. Coming back, of course, to your point, the last time we had an invitational tournament, it was 2 years ago. Courtesy, of course, of last year's Under 19 World Cup qualifiers, and given that the Junior Yellow Greens were participating in the World Cup Under 19. But you can see the difference in the two sides. Full of the occasion, hits it straight to the fielder at short mid-wicket, run out chance. What an effort there from the fielder at short mid-wicket. That was struck powerfully, but look at the backing up. Nearly 5 fielders backing up that throw. The fielder was Alice Ikuzo, if I'm not mistaken. Coming back to that point, you can see the difference in the two sides, Ajidaba. 2 years ago, Fanny Utagushimimana was nowhere to be seen, was just a youngster, upcoming youngster, you'd say. And now, coming back in the 5th edition, she becomes the first ever player in T20 Women's International to score a century on debut. As we come to the end of the first over, it is 4 for Nota, Team Ghana.
Bob well encapsulated that thought of mine about Leonard Namburo, who gave Fanny the opportunity to go in and bat, and not just bat as an opener, but batting from ball 1 to the final ball, becoming the first player at the 5th edition to score a century and to bat from ball 1 to the final ball, and also to play not out. Shout out to you, Fanny, wherever you are. You've done excellently well. The task is huge for Team Ghana. They need 10 per over, but it's not coming, and the more the task continues to go up.
For the very first time in the second over, we are not seeing the likes of Rosin Irera. It's Giovannisa sharing the niche with Belize Mrekatete. Starts off with an extra down the leg side. She's been bowling very well in the local league. They would love to see her carrying that form, of course, into this 5th edition, as we just mentioned. Normally they used to bring in spin from the other end in all the editions, if I'm not mistaken. She has a third man, she has a fine leg, is Giovanni's, and a sleeping play in Rosin Irera. Full on the occasion, nearly takes the off stump, trying to play across the line. Can be very suicidal given that she is targeting the stumps. Anything you miss, she will hit is Giovanni's. Big statement you'll say here for the Rwandans. They have won this competition once, whereas, of course, the host team Nigeria has won it twice, and Tanzania, of course, in 2024, in the 4th edition. It's going to be a very competitive tournament with the likes, of course, of the South Africa under-19s and Zimbabwe under-19s. Second game is going to be an interesting one this afternoon. The host taking on Zimbabwe. They would love, of course, to capitalize on this momentum in their very first game if they are to defend that 206 in 112 balls. Run out chance. Not the best of throws from the young Shimingman Rosette at a short mid-wicket. Risky but effective for Team Ghana.
Good to know that Ano and Rashida too are still in the batting crease, and that should give the coach Kofi Anafi some succor. Rwanda showing great intent and laying down the marker that they are here to take away the first Patricia Kambarami Cup with that big performance in the first innings. Oh, great cut there. Will that race for? Not at all. Good effort by the two fielders.
Look at that again on the replay with Ofada through the kitchen sink, and that one beating those two fielders. At least Ikuze, who gives it a chase. Looked like the umpire indicated the boundary, but I'm not sure that ball crossed the boundary ropes. Should be a double. Very positive intent from Anor, as she, of course, gets off the mark. Should be the last ball to come in the second over from Giovannisa. Worked on the onside, but this time round, Rashida says we still have a long way to go as we come to the end of the second over. It's 8-0 Team Ghana.
They need 203 runs in 108 balls. The current run rate is 4.00, and what is required is 11.28, which makes the task huge. And it's great to see that the South African under-19 team are here at the ground, though they don't have a game today until tomorrow, but they just want to have a feel of what this Tafawa Balewa Cricket Oval looks like, and they are going into the cricket lab to have some batting practice in preparation for what's going to happen tomorrow.
Belize Murekatete to continue from the pavilion end. Heading, of course, the decade, well guided through the third man region from the experienced Rashidatu. Showcasing the scoreboard ticking, talking about that required run rate. It is more of climbing Mountain Kilimanjaro for the Ghanaians. But again, when you look at the difference between the two sides, the last time Ghana played an international game was 3 years ago, where they are ranked 57th in the world. And coming back in the 5th edition, they are ranked 62nd in the world. Tells you a thing or two, the lack of exposure of games down the leg side. Wide signal by the umpire again. Tells you a thing or two. Ajidaba, they've been lacking games. They've spent 3 years without playing international cricket. They come this time round missing out a couple of senior players, the likes of Rida, who was the captain in the 3rd edition of the Nigeria Women's Invitational. And Rwanda, of course, having last played in the last qualifier back in Windhoek in September. They have carried all that form. You can see, as they normally say, especially you, numbers never lie. They have been dominant in the first innings, and now 2.1 overs. Ghana is sitting on 10 for naught. They would love, of course, to make the inroads as soon as possible. Are the opening bowlers, Belize and Giovannis. They are bowled out 41 inside 16.3 overs the last time these two faced off each other. Soft hands from Anor. Henriette Ishimwe will be very, very key in this second phase of the chase, of course. She picked up a double hat-trick the last time these two played here at the same particular ground, the Tafawa Balewa Square, with magical figures of 4 for 4 in her 2.3 overs, if I'm not mistaken. She didn't have a go with the bat. I would love to see the captain exposing her and maybe give her an over in the power play and see. Good shot again, a run out chance. Not the best of throws again. She wasn't even in the frame either. Rashidatu. You can see they're having an argument are these two, Rashidatu and Anor. Trust issues. I'll tell you, the last time I visited a candle factory, I found them using bulbs.
Run out chance. But she's in. I recall when Bob Bashir Songa was at the center to take the toss. Jacqueline Kokam, the captain of Team Ghana, wanted to bat if she had won the toss. But immediately, the other captain, Bime Iman Amari Diani, won the toss and elected to bat. She knew it was going to be a long day. And like we always say, when you are batting, you put up runs that would intimidate your opponent going into the second innings. And that's what Team Rwanda did. That 210 runs for loss of 3 overs in 20 overs was huge. And I'm sure it was going to be difficult for Team Ghana.
Last ball to come from Belize Mrekatete. Full up and over the fielder at Kavaza. That was struck powerfully. Can this be their very first boundary? Oh yes, it does. Get over the ropes. Courtesy of the experienced Rashidatu, who takes a liking on the last delivery over. Second over is Belize Mrekatete. 17 for note after 3. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Through the kitchen sink on that one. She wasn't near the reach of the ball with that front leg, but well enough with the pace she's bowling at, allowing the ball to go all the way to the boundary. 17 for note after 3.
Bob, irrespective of what happens, we must give commendation to Team Ghana. Like you said, the last time they featured at this tournament was the 3rd edition. And since then, they've not been active. And then they were 57th in the world. But now they are 62nd, which meant that they didn't really fall down the rankings too much. But to put up this kind of performance for a team that has not been active is quite commendable. Irrespective of whatever happens, I think I need to salute and commend them.
And I really agree with you there, Mr. Ajiraba, given that, of course, they have a lot of youngsters in this squad. Should be, if they can stick together with this squad for the next couple of years, 2 to 3 years, I believe they can put up a very good team. Giovannis, who is bowling a second over, went for only 4 runs, starting off in the similar fashion with an extra down the leg side, where she has, of course, a fine leg and a third man. Another extra. Expect to see, if I'm not mistaken, the likes of Rosin Irera or Ishimi Ariete coming in from the other end. You can't afford, of course, to leak a lot of runs in the power play, given that you never know. Yes, there are no signs of rain anywhere, but you never know when the rains can, when the heavens can open. You need that net run rate to be very healthy. It is a very competitive tournament this time round. Touch and go again. Can she hit this time round? Another run out. Chance goes down. Living dangerously is Noor and Rashidatu at the moment. So far they have given out 5 run out chances in the span of 3.1 overs.
Rashidatu Salia and Elizabeth Ano are still trying to build a partnership that they hope can take them over the line. Great batting from the two. We are getting into the 4th over. For the loss of no wickets. Giovanni is coming from the Court of Appeal end into our 2nd over. And I have to say that what I saw from Team Rwanda in the first innings, they replicated what International Cricket Council have started preaching, that from the 1st over to the 6th over is what they call lunch, not what we are going to take in the afternoon, but LAUNCH for emphasis. Then from 7th over to the 14th, they will tell you consolidate. And from 15th to the 17th over, they will tell you accelerate. And then from the 18th to the 20th, they'll tell you finish. And that's what we just saw.
Another lovely shot there from Rashidatu. Outside offer, allowing the bottom hand to come into play. No chance whatsoever for the two fielders converging from mid-off and mid-on as the ball races away to yet another boundary. 2nd boundary coming off her blade. Already into double digits. It shows you how experienced she's been, but again, it's the lack of games. when you look at the way they've been communicating, these two, it shows you they haven't been batting together for a long time. 24 for naught after 3.4 overs. Still sticking to that fielder in the slip cordon is Rosin Herrera. Full again into the pads. Worked on the onside, but this time round she finds the fielder at mid-on as they keep the scoreboard rotating at these two. Coming back to your point earlier, as you mentioned, you are very impressed with the way these two are batting. A lot of credit has to go to them. Not losing a wicket inside 3.5 overs can be a very big positive. Another run-on chance, a sloppiness there from Ariete Ishimwe at mid-off, allowing them to scamper for a quick run. You'd feel that they've done a tremendous job for my liking, playing out 4 overs without losing a wicket and getting that 26. They will need 185 in 96. I don't mind if they don't get to that target. I would love to see them play out all the overs. It's the positives you take from these kind of tournaments.
My brother and my friend Bob Bashir Songa, I can't agree less with you. Very imperative that you play out the overs. There are lessons learned even from defeat, and that makes you better when you go into subsequent games. Like you rightly said, there was going to be some tweaking. I haven't seen in the first 4 overs Belize Murikatete and Giovanni's coming from the pavilion and the Court of Appeal end respectively. I knew there was going to be a change, and Captain Fantastic, you want to call her, Bimeimana Maridiani, has decided to take responsibility from the pavilion end, getting into the 5th over.
The captain coming in from the pavilion end starts off with one outside off stumper. She have a good day with the bat. She's been moving the ball lately in her previous outings for the national team. Outside off stump again, but this time round the umpire says that was way outside her reach. Normally she would love to use these kind of conditions Diani Menyimana, given that the breeze is now blowing towards the Court of Appeal end. Love to see her targeting that middle stump. There you go. Soft answer from Anor. The big question here, I'll tell you, everyone is waiting to see when Ariete Shimi is going to be handed that ball. She tends to have a way of picking up a wicket every time she bowls for Team Rwanda, especially here at the TBS. In the air this time round, chips in the diver is the captain herself. Run out chance and the finger is up. What have you done, Rashidatu? As she gives away an easy wicket. As they draw fast blood is Team Rwanda in the chase, of course. Very good throw from the fielder at mid-off. Let's have a look at that again on the replay. Full on that occasion. Tries to play it across the line. Couldn't get enough timing. But what a throw. Very good awareness from Giselle Ishimwe throwing the ball to the wicketkeeper batter, Midway Uwase, who does an easy job. Running out, of course, Rashidatu, who has to take the long way back to the dugout. It was just a matter of time to see them giving away a run out. They gave a lot of chances inside the first 3 overs. And this time round, Team Rwanda picks up their first wicket.
Bob, I'm sure from Takoradi to Sekondi to Accra, they would have loved to see the other batter, Elizabeth Ano, take this long walk back to the pavilion rather than Rashidatu Salia, who is more of a prospect when it comes to batting. And I would have expected that Elizabeth should have played to the strength of Rashidatu, knowing that she's not really good at running in between the wicket. Those quick runs you expect from your other batter is not there, and it's quite unfortunate. Rashidatu's day in the batting crease is over.
Keta, shot number 25. Another experienced player from the Ghanaian side joins Anor. Again, now coming back to the point you raised earlier, is knowing your assignment, coming in to chase down a mammoth of a toto. You don't need to run yourselves out, given that it is a very big task ahead for you to chase down that toto. Try and see if you can take a couple of KPIs. $27 for 1 after 4.4. Only one fielder outside the ring, a third man for Diame Menyumana. To the new batter. Lovely driver as she gets off the mark. Straight to Giselle Ishimwe again, who chips in a throw at Merveille Ouase. But she was well in. I love the fact that the fielding has improved a lot. They're not trying to throw the balls back to the wicketkeeper. Last ball to come from her very fast over is Diane, going for only 2 runs so far. Full on that occasion, wall struck again. Not the best of communication, but this time round, she says, no, very loud and clear as we come to the end of the 5th over. Last over of the power play, Ghana is sitting on 28 for the loss of 1 wicket.
Elizabeth Anor has faced a total of 13 balls and scored 6 runs. Kate Awua has faced 2 balls and scored 1. And that over of Bime Imana Mari Diane, she gave away just 2 runs, and the task becomes humongous. 183 runs in 90 balls. This is huge, knowing that the current run rate is 5.60 and what is required is 12.20. It continues to increase.
And the captain has decided to slow down the music for the Ghanaians as she has introduced the right arm off breaker. Rosine Irera coming in from the Court of Appeal end. She loves bowling her over very quickly, rushing the batters. She doesn't give you enough time to settle. She has a slip in play. Beats the outside edge straight away. And she has a long on and a deep mid wicket, the only 2 fielders outside the ring for Kate. And this time round back over the bowler's head. And they pick up a quick single at these 2. If I'm not mistaken, when we go back into the records, she's always picked up a wicket here at the TBS every first time she's bowled her very first over. Can she repeat that history? Of course. Short ball punished. Half striker, and she gets the much deserved punishment is Rosine Irera, as the ball was swept powerfully to the boundary. We'll look at that again on the replay. Half tracker from the off spinner, rock back on the back footer, creating room, beating those 2 fielders at short leg and short fine leg. Much deserved boundary as they move to 33 for 1. How many more can they add in these next 3 balls in the power play?
Three more good balls to be bowled by Rosine Herrera. One of the finest in this team. You want to call that butterfly fingers, sloppy fielding to allow for one extra run, and this is one area that Coach Kofi Anafi must talk to the ladies. Runs that are not sure, you must cut it off.
Last ball in the power play. Shot again, but this time round straight to the field. Again, sloppy there from the young Shimimana Rosette. They've not been the best in the field. In the power play is the Rwanda side. I'm not sure other teams are going to allow them with this sloppiness in the field. It is the end of the power play. And 35 runs on board. They've managed to pick up. The only wicket which came as a run out is Team Rwanda. Rashidatu was the wicket. 35 for 1 after 6. Needing 176 runs in 84 balls. And now moves into double digits. There you see the batting chart again. 14 of 15 with 2 boundaries. Run out by Giselle. With that lovely throw straight to the wicketkeeper batter Ouasse Merveille, who did a tremendous job. And those two are still not out. Giovannis Ouasse, 2 overs, went for 13. And Bimenyumana, the captain, went for 2 in her first over as she is bowling her second. I will take a short break, allowing Mr. Peter again to take us through the second phase, of course, of this chase.
Bimenyumana coming from the pavilion end and ensuring that the music will definitely be a slow music, slowing down things. And ensuring that Kate Awua will not leave that place as the striker with runs.
Ajida, well, we have to give this Ghanaian side a credit. The score looks very impossible to chase for them, but they are putting up a fight against this Rwandan side. We used to see the Rwandan side decimate the batting order of the Ghanaian team. Anoa stepped up, Rashida even stepped up before that run out, that miscommunication that led to a run out. And now, Kate Awua hasn't really been really good with the bat as of late, even in league, but she's here now and she's batting for the team and she came in 1 down. Just 1 bounce, very solid throw from the fielder. Coming into the second inning, we didn't really expect to see this much of a fight from the Ghanaian side, because usually against our opponents, we are used to seeing them lose a lot of wickets, and given their inconsistency, they've not really had international cricket or even domestic cricket in a long time. They lose wickets already, and now they've lost another wicket. Ball coming to the pad, and no will have to go out, sadly. Ball that was going straight for the stumps. Good line and length. Changed the mind, really wanted to hit that ball, wanted to drive the ball, but late redirection of decision and decision making saw that ball wrap the pad. Umpire finger goes in the air. It's 2 wickets down. 2 early wickets, 1 in the power play, 1 just and over after the power play. Well, look at that wicket again. Wanted to drive that ball. This was the first one, actually, the first wicket that fell. The miscommunication. Rashida wasn't expecting a run. She thought it was going to be a catch, and at toss led to a late approach for a run. This is the second one. Wanted to go for a drive, wanted to drive it to the leg side. Saw the swing, redirected, played a late shot that they made to the ball, and now she had to go out. And coming in already is Ellen Otu Asante.
And what it ultimately means is that the two opening batters for Team Ghana, Rashida Tusalia and Elizabeth Ano, have finished their game as far as today is concerned. They look forward to tomorrow, and we have two new batters who will now try to build partnership.
Eleno to Asante in the bowling inning didn't get the wicket. Remains to see if she keeps hers while batting. .36 on the board already for South Africa, for Ghana. Similar ball to the one that took out Elizabeth Arnold. And we end the 7th over. 36 on the board. 2 wickets lost for Ghana.
We know from the completion of the first innings that the task was going to be huge for Team Ghana, looking at what they are expected to chase, which is 211 runs in 20 overs. But as we speak, after the completion of the 7th over, they are 36 runs for loss of 2 wickets. Their current run rate is 5.14, and what is required of them is 13.46. It continues to increase. 175 runs in 78 balls. Looks more like it is gone, and you can say a bit of congratulations in advance to Team Rwanda.
Never say never. It's just a matter of time. Kid is starting to, be compact. We acknowledging our late reactions to ball. The balls that come in, Kid is reacting quite late. But the contact is there. It just remains the momentum. That run out attempt very unsuccessful. That ball, the ball is picked. The keeper had adjusted backward and as such wasn't really close to the stumps for that run out. Lovely, huge dive. Huge dive for Mellon. One more run. Caitlin goes off strike. Rosin still looking for that very much needed wicket. Hasn't registered the wicket for herself. Into the gap, Ellen. A very big, very necessary boundary for Ghana. Similar to the shots that Fanny had been playing in the first inning. Look at that ball again, outside of off, and she dealt with it from the very first bounce. Into the gap, straight to the cover region, and that is 4 runs. 4 very much needed runs for Ghana. Rwanda haven't had the need to expand their fields since the end of the power play, as they've been able to cover the runs for Ghana, having just a deep mid-wicket and a long on. A deep mid-wicket and a deep square leg. The only 2 outfield fielder for Rwanda. Bowlers bowling exceptionally well. Boundaries haven't been too frequent like in the first inning, and they will continue with the power play over tactics. Forty-one already for Ghana. Every dot ball sees the required run rate go up, and every dot ball puts more pressure on the batters. And batting, it requires calm nerves. The moment you're under pressure, you start to lose your cool, you start to feel desperate, and you start to play unnecessary shots. I feel Ghana's approach to this game is to try and play it not out. they haven't really been that compact with their batting, always losing wickets against tougher sides and not able to complete an inning. Today, I think they want to try and build on that momentum, looking at their lengthy absence away from international cricket. Playing not out against a strong side like Rwanda would actually be probably part of the confidence they need going forward.
Thank you, Peter. 8 overs gone, 41 runs for loss of 2. Rashida Tusalia and Elizabeth Ano. Looks like a runner chance. That is Sloppy running in between the wickets. That replay says it all. She was very lucky.
One of the senior players in the team, Kirawa. That ball certainly was very close, but properly dealt with by Ellen into the gap. This time there is an extra covers in place for her to stop her from getting another boundary. They'll settle for one, bringing Kate on strike. Ali's also looking for wicket herself. Outside of, swings out. A late reaction from Kate. A dot ball. Put to the leg and swept. Luckily, the square leg actually put the hand to the ball, prevented that ball from traveling any deeper. They will settle for one run. Kate hasn't gotten a boundary for herself yet in this inning, and the team needs every boundary they can get. Everyone has played a boundary actually, except Kate. It's just a matter of time, means to see how long it will take for Kate to start clicking in the batting crease. Comes offside for this ball, as Ellen couldn't find the gap. A dot ball. Rosine bowling much more cleaner than the first overs, giving 12 runs in 2 overs. And now she's actually been very much more compact. 3 runs so far. A reduction in the runs.
That was a dead ball. And no run there. Let me tell you a thing or two about the lady who just bowled the night over, Alice Kuzwe. She used to be a ground staff at the Gahanga Cricket Stadium, and that interest to play the game developed. And fast forward to this day, she's not only bowling for the team, but she's now an integral member. The South African under-19 team are currently having a mini practice. They don't have a game today. The game is tomorrow, but they just wanted to have a feel of the venue, and the first time they will be coming to Nigeria. Glad to have them here in Nigeria. Mickey Van Horst is the captain of the side.
South Africa will be a very huge test tomorrow. 5 players that played in the Under-19 World Cup and went all the way to the finals are currently still within the age grade, within the age limit, and will be playing here tomorrow. Very big test. So much experience. You expect a lot. You expect a battle, a brawl here tomorrow. But for now, we focus on today's game, and it's Kate still on strike, going up against Henriette. Henriette, who happens to be one of the top leading runs batter in this national invitational tournament, women's invitational tournament rather. She has the third highest runs. Didn't get to bat today, but certainly she has the ball and she will look to add wickets to her name as well. Fantastic all-rounder for the Rwandan side.
Very reliable all-rounder for Team Rwanda. In 2024, when Tanzania won and the Sao Mte was the best batter by virtue of what she put up, we also saw for the bowling the likes of Peris Kamuya and of course Henriette Shimwe, and one from Sierra Leone also, Janet Kowa. Three of them combining to win the best bowler of the tournament by virtue of their performance, and we expect such from Henriette.
Ghana going all out trying to keep their wicket as long as they can. 2 wickets so far is actually a very, very big improvement to the Ghana side we usually know. So far, given how long it's been since they last played an international game, this is actually quite impressive. Perhaps I spoke too soon. Ellen will have to go back to the pavilion. Wonderful ball from Henriette, gets herself a wicket. That lovely swinging, the ball swinging in towards Ellen, who couldn't do it properly, and sends it into the hands of the backward point. Eagerly awaiting that ball. Doesn't seem too proud of what she did, doesn't seem too proud of the outcome either, as she walks back out. And the captain has to come in early. We're used to seeing Jacques come in the tail end of the batting order, and now given the fact that most of the players have come here on multiple occasions for this invitational tournament, aren't around. They have a lot of new fresh faces. She has had to come up in the batting order. Remains to see if Jacques can actually help maintain this tempo that they are on and help them finish all the entire 20 overs, or she might crumble. But so far, regardless of the outcome, I have been impressed by the display of the Ghanaian side.
Thank you very much, Peter. This is drinks break owing to that wicket of Ellen Otu Asante. Asante, like we all know, means thank you. And of course, in Rwanda, thank you is Murakoze. But Murakoze will not go to Ellen. But that Murakoze, thank you, would rather go to the fielder at backward of points, Umutoniwase Clarice, who picked that brilliant catch, putting her body behind the line in ensuring that Ghana lost their third wicket. Big shout out to the two on-field umpires. Umpire Adepeju Adetoro Balogun and umpire Deborah Imobige Orupe. Not also leaving out the third umpire, Temitope Oniko Ijabar, and the fourth umpire, Cynthia Okegbo Ogochukwu.
Full toss ball wasn't properly dealt with, couldn't beat the cover fielder, and that ends the 10th over, halfway into this game for Ghana. Not too many runs on the board. 45 already. After 10 overs, 166 is still needed from the next 60 balls. Required run rate is 16.60 with a strike rate of just 4.5. A huge gap in what they have and what they need. Jacquio, the new batter who came up to round up the 10th over, is paired up with Kate Awua, who has had to come up the batting order. Coming in one down, has seen two batting partnership break up.
We hope to see a captain's performance from Jacqueline Kokam and probably build a partnership with Kate Awua. And then score some decent runs. But more importantly, playing out the overs would have been a positive that Team Ghana can take home from this first game of theirs.
You've said well, Ajidagba. You said well. A lot of positives to take regardless of the outcome. It's very, very difficult to go toe-to-toe with a team that has been very, very active in terms of international cricket as well as domestically. Given your lengthy absence, Ghana has put up a fight today, but Fanny was just up to the task against their bowlers. That late bounce and any hope of a run. When you look at it again, that is that wicket. That attempted catch, very close. Just couldn't move further enough to get that ball within her arms. Would have been probably the wicket of the day. A much better confrontation to this game than in their previous team meeting. And the first meeting between these sides, it ended in the 15th over, 14.2 overs bowled, where Ghana were displaced for 54 all out. Today they still have 7 wickets in the bag with 46. They might not get to the target runs required, but they certainly seem to be looking to do better than they've done in previous encounters against Rwanda. Kate Awua still on strike. This is the longest she's been in the crease against Rwanda. She's never lasted 5 overs in the batting crease against Rwanda. Today she's been there since coming in the 3rd over. And that ends the 11th over, 47 on the board, 3 wickets lost. 164 is what is needed of the next 54 balls. The required run rate keeps going upward, 18.22, as the current strike rate keeps declining. 4.27. The gap is mighty at this point. They really need to pull up a miracle. They need 4 times the amount of runs that they currently are registering right now.
Thank you, Peter. while we understand that there are several ways a batter can be out, white ball declared by the umpire, Adepeju Adetoro Balogun. But you have to say that the 3 wickets that Team Ghana have lost, they've not been able to bowl them. One was a run out, and that's the wicket of Rashidatu Salia. The other one was an LB to Elizabeth Anor, and the third one was a brilliant catch from Umotoniwase Clarice at backward of point. And so you have to say that this team have really kept their wicket and kept it very tightly. But this 3 wickets also is the total number of wickets that Team Rwanda lost in the first innings.
Late reaction from Jaquil. Finally gets a run on the board. Jaquil currently on strike as Henriette, who's picked up a wicket for herself at the moment, is hungry for more. They didn't get a chance to bat because the Ghanaian bowling couldn't take out a wicket to give her a chance to. Now she is looking to actually take out as many as possible. A little bit of hesitation from Jaquil and play can resume. And Henriette, destructive arm, swings in and dealt with. One run. Jaquil hasn't had a chance to face too many balls. 3 balls so far, 1 run. As Kate has had to take up the mantle, seeing all those wickets fall already. She has had to take up that mantle as the superstar of the team. I'll put it that way. They need what they need is someone that will stay there as long as possible. Kate at the moment seems to be doing just that. Remains to see if Jaquil can complement that.
They continue to put runs on board, though it might not be adequate for them to get a result in today's game. Even from the 12th over, it's almost signed, sealed, only waiting to be delivered. The first victory for Team Rwanda over their opponent, the Ghanaians. And they're coming from the Court of Appeal end. Experienced campaigner Henriette Ishimwe, one of the finest in Africa.
Lovely yoke length. Late reaction from Jaquil as well. Kid has been struggling with that. Somehow found the tempo, was understood the bowlers and is missing the balls at the right timing. Jaquil might need a little bit more time to deal with that, but it just remains to see if Rwanda would actually afford at that time to adjust to the bowling setting and bowling pace. Already the 12th over has come to an end. 51, 3 wickets lost. 169 is the runs needed of 48 balls. The run rate is currently at 20.00 and the current strike rate is on 4.25. Very, very big gap there. Very, very big gap in runs needed and runs already gotten.
You can say that again, Peter. But like we said, we will draw more on the positives for Team Ghana, who didn't cross 50 the last time when these two teams met. But now they have wickets at hand and they have only lost 3 and they are holding their own against an experienced team like a team Rwanda. This will race for 4, and it's almost looking like the chase. Oh, the ball slowed down. I thought that was going to race for 4. Didn't take advantage of the running, but then it's just one single run.
Clarice has been very, very effective in chasing that ball into the deep. Clarice and Fanny, 2 competent batters, have been very, very efficient when chasing that ball into the deep. Stopped a couple balls in that region. Lovely stroke from Kate Awua. Just wasn't into the gap. Too straight of a shot for a ball outside of off. But Kate Awua, late reaction seems to have come back in. The timing expertise are on leave. In the air, above the infielders as they chase. Alins and Fanny give a chase again. 2 runs. Kate Awua taking up the mantle for the team, making sure that they push as hard as they can. 4 runs already in this over. This required run rate keeps going up. The current run rate is not helping, but there's a lot of positive to the picks. Does it go through? No, it doesn't. Maris goes down, missed that ball at the lowest point. And you look at that replay again. That ball into that gap, and Marie was fast enough to make that ball at the lowest. Stopped any chance of a further run, as Ghana would settle for 1 to end the 13th over. 56 already, still 3 wickets lost. 155 is now the new runs needed of 42 balls. Required run rate 22.14, current run rate at 4.31.
While we credit the Rwandan bowlers for cutting off boundaries that were needed from the very first ball, you have to also give some credit to the Ghanaian team for holding their own against a team like this. Kate Awua is now the current best batter for Team Ghana. Initially, it was Rashidatu Salia who scored 15. Kate Awua is now on 16, though she has faced 32 balls. That is twice the number of balls she has faced.
It's nice seeing the captain take up the ball to come on board again. Properly dealt with by Kate. Does it race to the boundary? No, it doesn't. But what he does is gives them a space to run between the wickets. 2 more runs, but it is far from enough. Ghana have always lost this game with over 100-run margin. Surely they will look to close that, at least those below the 100-run mark. But so far, both matches lost has been above the 100-run mark. No more overs left. Overs aren't that much anymore. We've gone beyond the halfway point of this game, and they're still needing more than 150. Bimenyimana doing excellently well in dealing with those loose balls. Good length pitch. Okay, late reaction from Kate seems is really affecting the style of play. She's meeting that ball at a very, very late timing, and the Source could do only very little in terms of power behind that ball. Lucky hit. One more ball. 58. Just 2 runs so far in this over. The run rate keeps skyrocketing. The required run rate, my corrections, keeps skyrocketing as the current one is below, far, far behind the required target. Edges that ball, edges the full toss. But Fanny was in the deep. The third man was at the right place to recover that ball. Look at that edge again. She was there. The runs are a lot for Ghana to chase, but Rwanda are not taking any chances. They will look to keep those runs and keep the net run rate as high as possible.
Thank you, Peter. 14 overs gone, 59 runs for loss of 3 wickets. They need 152 runs in 36 balls. Looks like an inordinate ambition for them to achieve. But we are waiting for the second game between Nigeria and the Zimbabwean under-19 team. The big question is when the two captains go into the center for the toss, Bulentoshi Mapusa from Zimbabwe and Lucky Piety, whoever wins the toss, we are waiting for what exactly they will want to do, because this looks like a batting surface. The die is cast, the stage is set, and we are looking forward to what looks like a blockbuster game. At this juncture, I will have to take a pause on the commentary and allow Endurance of Fame, former captain of Nigeria, to take over, and one of the finest commentators in Africa.
Thank you, Ajidagba.
Welcome on board, Andy. They almost welcomed you there with a catch.
I tell you, one of the excitements you see in this tournament thus far, but it's good to see that Ghana is doing so well to bat through their 20 overs. Haven't been away for a long time, 2 years since they last played in their last tournament, 2023. But it's good. Score is 60-3 from 14.2 overs. 61 for 3 from 14.3 overs, needing just 150 runs. Did I just say just from 33 balls?
You know, Ajidagwa and I were mentioning it earlier. We said regardless of this result, if Ghana can play out all 20 overs, there's so much positive to pick from it. They've not really been consistent in playing out all their overs against top oppositions, and doing that today, I do see that as an improvement on their cricket, given how long they've been away from international cricket.
And clearly, I can't agree less. The more you play, the better you become. And that's the story. They haven't done badly. It's just that the confidence hasn't been there to follow through. And that's another wicket. A slow running between wickets. Needless calls straight to the fielder. Rwandans made no mistake about that one.
Yeah, she dug the pit and she fell into it. She called for the run, Jacques, and sent Kate off strike. She couldn't run as fast enough to get herself to keep that wicket safe. Late dive, and it's another wicket. 2 run outs already. I do not think we saw any run out in the first inning. 2 run outs already for this Ghanaian side. The game is already nearing its end. They want to maximize. They've always lost above 100 runs to Rwanda. I'm sure that the desperation to not let history repeat itself is causing their fall of wickets.
I'll tell you what, I like to take the positive from every game. I agree with you. However, 61 for 4 from 15 overs is brilliant to see how Ghana's side have decided to ensure that they bat out the 20 overs. Yes, we agree they are the underdogs for this game, but the intensity from the Rwandans, clearly, we spoke about it, Peter, earlier, where we thought that Rwanda will run through the Ghanaian batting lineup, but they are almost batting through 20 overs, and that's some positive you take from that. We hope they get better as the tournament progresses. But so far, it's a Rwandan show, and it's a funny day, like I said earlier, and Bob will agree, because 111 runs in a T20 game anywhere in the world is an international record that you want to set on your debut. So we talked about the consistency and the belief and trust in the development system from Rwandan cricket. They've taken women's cricket very seriously, and we know later in June this year we would have the Quebec tournament, which is a brave remembrance day for genocides and cricket and activities around Rwanda. The beauty is they've taken this as one of the ways to unite Rwandans around cricket, and sports is a big thing for them. To see them consistently participate in the Nigerian Cricket Women's International, starting with the first edition being a bilateral series, and seeing them today, and that respect to be the opener of this tournament is what makes this tournament a beauty. Requiring 30 runs per over, they're sitting on 4, and it's 150 runs required from 30 deliveries.
Evie is the new battering. Did her own part in keeping the balls while behind the stumps. Now she has to keep in front of it, keep that wicket standing as long as she possibly can, help Ghana play out all 20 overs of the inning. Kate Awuah still the battering. 3 partnerships broken for Kate Awuah, already on 20 runs. It's a personal best, and Ghana's personal best for an individual representing Ghana at this Women's Invitational T20I. A dot ball. Evie on strike. Hasn't really clicked yet. 1 ball face so far. Tries to cut that ball, but no. Says Clarice. Clarice has been very functional fielding in the deep. Now, even though she's been put in the cycle, she's still been very efficient, making sure that ball certainly did not go past her. 3 balls bowled, 2 consecutive dots. Make that 3, 4 balls gone already. And it feels like Evie is just being told with. If there's anything Rwanda want more now is to see this game end very quickly. There was no denying that LBW. The umpire saw it just as much as we all did. In swing, certainly going for the wickets. Umpire's decision was correct. Evie will go out. Ivy will go out with 0 runs. The only batter today so far to work out with no wrong contribution off the bat. There was that leg again, back foot. The umpire was in a clear sight to declare, and she walks back out disappointed. And who else comes in? Who else if not Miriam Eshun? Miriam has been very good. Was bowling very well. A little bit of extras from her side, but she was very compact and direct in the first inning. Part of those that fell victim to Fanny's aggressive batting activities. But now she had the chance, an almost impossible task to replicate Fanny's feat in the first inning. Probably help Ghana reduce the run rate deficit that they might suffer at the end of this match.
Well, I think the beauty of this is that they're gradually working really hard to go through these innings. Might look difficult, but looks like an all Rwandan affair. But Belize would tries to go big, but could only find a few that no run from that one. And that's the end of the 16th over. The score is 62 for the loss of 5 wickets.
Play to resume. Rosette, the bowler. Ran too soon, didn't look at the distance of the ball. Felt that Kate had played the ball into the gap and took to her heels. Miriam will go out without having faced a single ball from Rosette. Check that ball out again. Just didn't know where that ball had gone to. An assumption, like as the saying goes, assumption kills. But this time, assumption sends Miriam back to the stands. Played very, very well. Ghana, they've been excellent since the start of this match, losing just 3 wickets earlier on, and now they've lost more wickets. Batted from the 9th over to the 14th point, to the end of the 15th over, with just 3 wickets lost. And now in the next 2 consecutive over, they've lost 2 more wickets. Lovely front foot punch, and they will steal a single. Kitawa off strike. It's been really good. It's just sad to not see a team compliment our prowesses. Kid who's been really shaky for quite a while, even the domestic league, has come here and has been very solid, coming in 1 down pretty early in the innings too. But hasn't let that shaker. Came in at the end of the 4.3 over and has remained there, posting 22 of 47 balls. ODI standard run rate.
Shiwamana goes big, finds the gap through mid-wicket. We'll get a couple. Just a single from that one. Shiwamana just ensuring that she only gets a single. Yeah, into the 17th over. The required run rate is 44.4. Fair to say this seems a dead rubber, and Rwanda flying on the high. The funny day of some line delivery, misses out on that one. And it's the end of the 17th over with the score on 64 for 6. I'll tell you something, Ghana gets through the 20 overs. This is a win for them. Progressing, haven't been away from the international scene in the past 2 years. The batting scorecard for you. 3 double figures from Rashidatu Salia, Ano Elizabeth, and Kate Awa. Still at the crease, 22 of 48 deliveries. Supported by Rebecca Adotea. Hopefully they can forge that partnership together. And just 9 extras, and Rwanda squeezing things here. exciting moment and encounter this afternoon. It will be Nigeria versus Zimbabwe. Are you still at home? TBS Cricket Over on the Eid holiday here at the TBS Cricket Over Lagos. They call it the commercial city of Nigeria. And full toss goes big. Couple of runs taken, second completed.
Rosin's plan of tempting Rebecca to off that ball actually worked. Sad part is the fielder was in for a ball that went out. Rebecca will stay a little bit longer. Rebecca was played for most of her bowling over. Now she's with a chance to retaliate. Didn't find the boundary, certainly did find space to go off strike. Kate seems to be the only one with confidence and understanding of the bowling of Rwanda. Now Kate is on strike and Rosin will look to get her first wicket of the match. Job made easy for Kate, did not have to struggle as the umpire awards a wide, much to the pleasing of the batter. Another late reaction from Kate, but it would not matter too much as it was enough to get her off strike for Rebecca to come on. Good length from Rose, a length that was severely punished by Rebecca. That ball again waited for the ball. From the very first bounce, it was sent into the gap. Fielders far apart from reaching that ball. 4 more runs, 73 already. Full Ghana. Waited for that ball. That late bounce was dealt with and sent to the leg side. Deep square leg. The fielder returns the ball to the wicket keeper. 1 run is what Ghana add to the board. The required run rate is already at an impossible figure, and all Ghana can just do now is play out the rest of the batting innings. Rebecca couldn't get the run of the last ball, or does she? Yeah, she does. Fielding fumble. And that was the space. 75 already on the board at the end of 18 overs. 136 is what is needed of 12 balls.
If you are just joining us, it's the first game of the 5th edition of the Nigerian Cricket Federation Women's Invitational International. This tournament, we will see Zimbabwe and South African under-19s, Rwanda, Nigeria and Ghanaian national team compete here at the Commercial Center of Nigeria, Lagos. It's the TBS Cricket Over. I'll tell you one, this is brought to you by Providence Bank, Russell Advisory, and most importantly, our big brothers, Tafabet. Activities here, it's a big holiday day. Traffic not even there. And so you can drive in 10-15 minutes. You should be at the TBS Cricket Oval. A big encounter coming through. Nigeria versus Zimbabwe under-19s. It's going to be an interesting moment for us. It's Kate Awa who's shown some resilience here for Ghana. 24 runs off 50 deliveries. But at the moment, it is Rebecca who gets a single. Fielder in the deep comes into play. That's jersey number 50.
Good game start. Tufu. Luckily, the late reaction from Rebecca as that ball at least dotted. Rebecca not really been in pressure for most of this match. As the balls drop, the runs up. The current run rate not achievable at this point. But what is achievable is playing out with all their wickets. Trying to find the gap, it's proved impossible so far. 9 minutes of the game. And Rwanda expand the field set, and this time there's a third man, a deep point, and an extra covers. The leg side has been kept in the 30 yard. The movement from the batter's bats seems to have affected the reflexes of the wicketkeeper. Ball narrowly missing the glove, and that is 4 more runs. Late reaction, but it certainly did pay off. That certainly did affect the keeper's calculation on the ball. And South Africa will smile. My corrections, Rwanda will smile at the end of this game. Already with the tournament's highest, previous tournament highest was 178 by Tanzania. Today they registered 210.
I kind of like the attitude of the Ghanaians, and clearly they've shown very positive intent on how they play. Techniques has been very solid. Yeah, 82 for 6 after 19 overs is not as bad as we would have thought for a team that have been away for the past 2 years, and that's the kind of quality we want to see. Imagine they've been consistent, and imagine what they could make out of this, and against the Rwandan side that have been in the full fray of international cricket. I would say you can't take much away from the Ghanaian cricket, just that a lot more needs to be done to ensure that they continue to develop these young cricketers. Opportunities are there for the game of cricket in Africa, and that is what every country's association or federation should be thinking of. Kate Awuah, that's some positive, 29 of 54 deliveries. She's been around for a long time and hasn't been gotten out. It's Shiwamana that will be bowling the 20th over for Rwanda. There you go, Shady Pats and board. After a long time in the craze. Did I jinx that? No, it's 29, and she will depart after 55 delivery. It's 82 for the loss of 6 wickets from 19.1 overs.
Finally, we get a bold. There's not been a single bold. The bills have not been dislodged at all from the first inning. It's been mostly cuts. And look at that replay again. That ball played back of the bat to the stumps. Much to the batter's dismay. And much to the please of Rwanda. They most certainly they've won this game, but they want to win it in style. 7 wickets gone, 5 more balls. A lot could happen in 5 more balls. The jinx could continue, or Ghana could break that jinx of losing all wickets against tougher oppositions. And Estina, the new battering for Ghana. And Estina picked up a wicket in the first inning while bowling. Picked up the wicket of Clarice from an LBW appeal. This time, Ismail is Belize, who bowls the final over. It's the left-hander for Ghana. Five balls, 3 wickets. Belize to Ernestina. Back of the bat. Does it race to the boundary? No, it doesn't. A fielder was there to prevent and kill any single source of hope that Ghana had of adding more runs to the board. They will settle for 2, and Kate Awa will stay off strike.
Did I hear you say hope? There's none here. 129 requires from 5 balls. It's 84 for 7 from 19.2. Swings on that one. Bit of contact on the body there. Belize 2 for 16. And 3 balls left from this innings. Required run rate is 190.5. Interesting. But the good thing is the current run rate is 4.3, which is some positive to take away from this game. In Ghana would wonder what have we done wrong. You've done nothing wrong. It's just been that you played against a better opposition today that have been very busy internationally in recent years. Brilliant tribe, and they will get a couple, just a single from that one. Few that comes from a long gone boundary. And Estina showing some fight there, but perhaps too late. You can call this dead rubber, and it's Rwanda who would smile, drawing the first ball. The crucial encounter. South Africa under 19 would be playing the Nigerian senior team this afternoon. Beauty is clearly defined.
There's 2 more balls. My experience a slight delay. 126 is what's needed of 2 balls. Unless the extras are coming, because strike rate currently is at an impossible figure. The required run rate as it stands is 3.75 of just 2 balls. Congratulations to Rwanda and congratulations to Ghana for their fighting spirits. Into the gap. Chance for 2. Yes, they will take it. Kate Awa is on strike. KKK. $19.588 for 7. Final ball. 123 balls. Runs needed of 1 ball. But the wicket goes instead. 2 balls in this inning. A wicket off the last ball. Start the innings in style. Ending it in style. Onto the stump she goes, and the stump she gets.
Yeah, okay, through the part this time. That's the end of her innings. She's done her bit. Can only manage 24. And that's the end of proceedings here at the TBS Cricket Oval. 88 after 20 overs. It's Rwanda who have won by 122 runs. Happy moment for Rwandan cricket. Been very impressive. You can't take this away from Ghana. 88 for 8 from 20 overs. It's Kate Awa, 31 of 56 deliveries. Rashida to Saleh, 14 of 15. Anno Elizabeth, 11 of 16. The star wicket taker, Belize Mureketete, 3 for 20 from our 4 overs. Maria Diane, the skipper, 1 for 6 of 3 overs. Henriette Teresa and Shinwe, 1 for 5 from 2. Big victory here, 122, which put Rwanda there at the top of this tournament at the end of day 1. And this is how things have panned out. Yeah, clearly the sportsmanship with cricket, and teams would shake hands, and happy moment here, and the beauty will be joining us at the post-match presentation is Bob. But for now, I'm looking forward and wait for it. The second game will be Zimbabwe under 19 versus Nigeria this afternoon.
before we
national team, the teams must be dressed because the toss would happen now, and at exactly 1:50 we will have the anthem. Nigeria and the away team, Zimbabwe under 19 team and the home team. So let's keep that in mind. Over to you, my brother, my friend, Rob Bashir.
Good afternoon, everybody.
welcome to our post-match presentation of our match day one, game number one of the 5th edition of the Nigeria Women's Invitational T20 tournament, live here at the Tafawa Balewa Square here in Lagos. Earlier, Rwanda won the toss, of course, in the clash between Rwanda and Ghana, and they opted to have a bat first, scoring a mammoth total of 210 runs in their allotted 20 overs. And with the chase, of course, with their disciplined bowling, they managed to restrict Team Ghana, winning by 122 runs, getting their first win. I would like to start with the captain of Team Ghana. Please come through. Tough luck today. Where do you guys think you missed the trick?
First of all, I want to say we thank God for a successful match. Well, it's a good but we will go and come back slowly.
Okay, all the best in your next game.
Is it?
All the best in your next game.
Yeah, we are going to correct our mistakes and come back strongly.
All right, all the best. And that was the captain, Jacqueline. Very emotional, and she promises to come back strong. And now allow me to welcome the captain, the winning captain, Dianmi Menyimana. One in the bag for you, posting 210 at some stage, 3 overs. You guys were sitting on 57. What was the message from the dugout?
The message was easy, just to tell the batters to just play their game, free their self, and make sure that they connect everything.
What are the positives you take from this game, especially from the youngster, Fanny Utagushima Imano?
As I said first, everyone was positive, so it's something to take us on. We take from her, being positive and just believe yourself and make sure that you do all what the team is asking you to do.
Last question, what do people back at home expect from you?
They just expect more good cricket.
All right, all the best. That was it from the winning captain, Dianmi Menyimana. And now, before we hand over the player of the match, allow me to call the general manager of the Nigeria Cricket Federation, Mr. Emeka. And our player of the match, there are no surprises. A lady who broke many records, a 21-year-old record of the highest total on debut in T20 International Women's category. Fanny scoring 111 in 65 balls, 17 boundaries. Fanny Utagushimimana. Fanny, well done. Grab the microphone, please. Well done, Fanny. First game, player of the match, scoring 100. How happy are you?
I'm so really happy that I can't believe it.
Do we expect to see more of you scoring more runs here?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, wish you the best. Go enjoy your trophy. And that should be it from us here. Do not go anywhere as we have a second clash over the host Nigeria taking on Zimbabwe under 19s. But for now, it's me, Songa Bobashir, signing out.